Every word you speak is a seed, and tomorrow is the harvest. Most people do not realize that their own voice is shaping their future more than any circumstance, person, or event. They blame fate, luck, or even God for their struggles, while they speak words that quietly design the very life they wish to escape. I tell you this with love and urgency. Your words are powerful beyond measure. They are not harmless chatter. They are creative commands. The words you spoke yesterday built the life you are living today, and the words you speak today are laying the foundation for your tomorrow. This is not a suggestion. It is spiritual law. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and the universe obeys this truth without fail. Just as a farmer cannot plant thorn bushes and expect roses, you cannot speak fear, doubt, and defeat yet expect joy, abundance, and peace. But here is the good news: no matter what your past words have created, you can change your entire life by changing your speech today. The moment you begin to speak with intention, heaven itself moves to align with your declarations. I have seen this law at work countless times. I recall a woman who came to me heartbroken over her constant struggles. She said, "Mrs. Shinn, I've always said I'm unlucky in love, unlucky in money, unlucky in everything." I smiled gently and said, "My dear, your words are a prophecy, and life has simply been proving you right." She was stunned. "What do I do?" she asked. I told her, "Start speaking life instead of death. Replace every negative word with faith." She began declaring daily, "I am divinely guided, divinely protected, and divinely prospered. Love and blessings flow to me now." Slowly but surely, her life transformed. She found a wonderful partner, her finances improved, and her health returned. Nothing outside her had changed. She changed her words, and her words changed her world. Every time you speak, you are either watering weeds or cultivating a garden of miracles. Most people speak carelessly, not realizing that words have vibration, and vibration attracts. When you say, "I'm always broke," life responds, "Yes, you are." When you say, "I never get a break," life says, "Very well." The universe is not punishing you, it is simply reflecting you. But if you shift your speech to faith-filled words like, "I am abundantly supplied. Everything I need comes to me easily," then everything begins to rearrange in your favor. The law is simple but unbreakable. What you decree, you create. The moment you start speaking truth instead of fear, miracles will no longer feel random, they will feel inevitable. Words are like keys that unlock doors. Some keys lock you in cages of worry and struggle, while others unlock treasures you didn't know were waiting for you. Choose carefully which keys you carry in your mouth today. So I ask you, what are you prophesying over your life right now? What are you saying about your health, your wealth, your future, your relationships? Your words are not empty. They are building something. If you want a different tomorrow, start building a new world today, one word at a time. Speak life. Speak abundance. Speak healing. Speak faith. And watch as your entire life begins to bend toward the words you choose today. The spoken word is not merely sound. It is law. Most people think words are empty expressions, something you say to fill silence, to share feelings, or to describe what already is. But the truth is far more profound. Words are creative forces. They are spiritual decrees that go out into the universe and return to you multiplied. When you speak, you are shaping your reality as surely as a sculptor shapes clay. This is why the scriptures declare, life and death are in the power of the tongue. It is not a poetic suggestion, it is a spiritual law that governs your life. Whether you are aware of it or not, when you speak fear, fear grows stronger. When you speak doubt, you are giving that doubt authority to rule your circumstances. But when you speak faith, faith begins to move mountains. Every word is a seed, and that seed cannot return void. It must grow and bear fruit according to its kind. This law works for everyone, everywhere, regardless of age, culture, or background. The universe does not stop to consider whether you mean your words, it simply responds to them. This is why careless speech can be so dangerous. Words spoken in frustration or bitterness can set events into motion that you later regret. In the same way, intentional words spoken in faith can create miracles you once thought impossible. I have met countless people who unknowingly used this law against themselves. They would say things like, "I'm always unlucky," or "I can never get ahead," and life would simply prove them right. Not because God wanted them to suffer, but because their words created a pattern that life had no choice but to reflect. The spiritual law is neutral, it delivers what you decree. If you plant roses, you get roses. If you plant weeds, you get weeds. And your words are the seeds. Now, I want you to truly let this sink in. Your words are not just sound, they are spiritual energy. They carry vibration. They carry intention. They are commands sent out into a responsive universe. When you speak with conviction, heaven itself listens. Angels respond to the voice of faith, and the entire spiritual realm bends to obey words that align with divine truth. This is why I tell people to speak life over their finances, their health, their relationships, their dreams. What you speak repeatedly becomes your reality, because the law of the spoken word cannot be broken. Some people believe they are at the mercy of fate, that life is random, that miracles are rare accidents. But I say to you, miracles are not accidents, they are results. They are the outcome of words spoken with unwavering belief. Your words are like keys that unlock doors in the invisible realm. Some keys lock you in chains of worry and fear, while others open gates of provision and peace. You hold those keys every time you open your mouth. This is why I urge you to speak carefully. Never prophesy failure over your life. Stop saying, "I can't afford this," or "I'll never succeed." Instead, declare, "I am fully supplied. Everything I need comes to me under grace." Speak it daily. Speak it with joy. Speak it even when circumstances seem to scream the opposite. Because the law of the spoken word is stronger than appearances. The unseen always creates the seen. Once you grasp this truth, you will stop living like a victim and start living like a creator. You are not powerless. You are not forgotten. You are the author of your tomorrow, and your pen is your tongue. Choose your words carefully, for they are writing the script of your future. Speak life, speak abundance, and watch the spiritual law respond with miracles that will leave you in awe. Every word that leaves your mouth is a prophecy over your life. You may not realize it, but you are constantly predicting your future with every sentence you speak. When you say, "I'll never get out of this mess," you are writing tomorrow's story. When you say, "Good things always happen to me," you are also writing tomorrow's story. Your words are not idle chatter. They are spiritual decrees, and they are shaping your life moment by moment. Most people speak without thinking, unaware that every "I am" statement they utter is programming their destiny. I am unlucky. I am tired. I am stuck. Do you see the pattern? These words are like seeds planted in the soil of your spirit, and the soil does not argue. It simply grows whatever is planted. If you plant seeds of lack, you will reap lack. If you plant seeds of fear, you will reap fear. But if you plant seeds of faith and abundance, your life will flourish with good things. You are living today in the harvest of words you spoke yesterday, and tomorrow will be a harvest of the words you speak today. I remember counseling a woman who was always ill. Every time I saw her, she would say, "I'm always sick. I'm always tired. My health is so fragile." I said to her, "You are making a prophecy over your body every time you speak those words." She was startled. No one had ever told her that her words carried that much power. I gave her a new affirmation. I am strong. I am whole, and the life of God flows through every cell of my body. At first, she felt silly saying it, because her body did not yet reflect her words. But she continued. Day after day she spoke health, and slowly her health began to improve. Her body responded to the new prophecy. In time, she was vibrant and strong again, and she would laugh and say, "I spoke my way back to life." This is not magic, this is spiritual law. Words are energy. Words create vibration. When you speak, your entire being aligns with your words, and your surroundings begin to rearrange themselves to match your declarations. This is why I urge you to speak carefully. Stop rehearsing failure and calling it being realistic. Stop repeating negative experiences like they are a badge of honor. Every time you speak about what went wrong, you are re-energizing that pattern in your life. Instead, use your voice to create a new pattern, a new prophecy. One of the most powerful truths you can embrace is this: your words are either bridges or barriers. They will either build a bridge to your destiny or create a barrier that keeps you from it. I tell my students, never prophesy defeat over your life. When you feel tempted to say, "I'm so unlucky," replace it with, "Everything is working out for my highest good." When fear whispers, "You can't afford this," respond out loud, "I live in God's abundant universe. I am always supplied." Speak these words until they feel natural. Speak them until your faith catches fire. What you decree, you create. Say this with me: I only speak words that bless my life. My words are seeds of good, and I plant them with intention. You do not have to wait for life to change before you speak differently. Speak differently, and life will change. Prophesy your healing. Prophesy your success. Prophesy your abundance. Your future is waiting for your words to give it shape. Never forget this truth. You are not just talking, you are creating. Every sentence is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. Paint wisely, speak boldly, and declare blessings with every breath you take. Your words are prophecies, and when you align them with faith, nothing can stop them from coming to pass. The first step to changing your life is to change your words. But before you can speak faith, you must first become aware of how much negativity you have been speaking. Most people are shocked when they begin to listen to themselves. Without even realizing it, they constantly rehearse defeat I'm so unlucky. I never have enough. I'm always sick. People always hurt me. They do not see that these words are not harmless. They are a confession, a declaration, a prophecy. The spiritual law responds to what you declare, and so they keep living in cycles they have unknowingly created with their own tongue. Breaking this habit begins with awareness. For the next 24 hours, I challenge you to listen closely to yourself. Catch every complaint, every negative statement, every word of fear. Do not condemn yourself, but simply notice. When you hear yourself say something like, "I can't afford this," pause and correct it immediately. Divine supply meets every need. I am always supported. When you hear yourself say, "I'm unlucky," change it to, "I live in a world of blessings. Good comes to me quickly and easily." This practice is not just positive thinking, it is spiritual law in action. You are retraining your mind, reprogramming your speech, and planting new seeds of truth. Negative speech often comes from a place of habit, not intention. For years, you may have spoken from pain, fear, or frustration. But now you are learning to speak from faith. It will feel unnatural at first, just as a new language feels strange to the tongue. But with time, these faith-filled words will become your native language, and your reality will reflect this shift. The words you speak consistently create a new atmosphere in your life, one that is charged with expectancy and miracles. Here is a simple tool I often give my students. Write down every negative phrase you find yourself saying often. For example, "I'm always broke." "I never get a break." "I'm too old to start over." Now, rewrite them into powerful affirmations. "I am divinely prospered and richly supplied." "Opportunities flow to me constantly." "I am renewed, strong, and guided every step of the way." Post these affirmations around your home. Say them out loud every morning. Replace every negative sentence with these declarations until they become your first instinct. There is tremendous power in your words, but you must also watch your emotions as you speak. Words spoken in fear carry weight, but words spoken in faith carry greater power. When you speak your affirmations, do not rush them or speak them mechanically. Speak them with feeling. Speak them as if they are already true, because in the spiritual realm, they are. You are not trying to convince God to bless you. You are convincing yourself to believe what God has already said about you. You will find that as you guard your tongue, your entire life begins to shift. Negative situations lose their power when you stop giving them energy through words. Positive outcomes come faster because your speech aligns with divine order. Remember, the law of the spoken word does not stop working simply because you are unaware of it. The law has been responding to your words all along. But today, you are taking control of this power. You are becoming intentional. Let this be your declaration. I am the gatekeeper of my words. I plant seeds of life, not fear. My speech is filled with power, faith, and truth, and my world reflects my words. Speak this daily, and you will feel the shift. You will notice new opportunities, unexpected blessings, and a sense of peace replacing anxiety. The habit of negative speech will fall away, and you will step into a life where your words are tools for creation, not destruction. The secret to manifestation, to answered prayer, and to a life of miracles is this: you must speak as if it is already done. Most people speak from fear, lack, and desperation. They plead with God, as if He has not already provided, as if blessings are far away and must be chased. But spiritual law does not respond to begging, it responds to belief. You must speak with the authority of someone who already possesses the promise. Faith declares the answer before the evidence appears. Faith says, "It is done," even when nothing in your life looks like it. When you speak as if it is already done, you align yourself with divine truth. God has already said, "Ask, and it shall be given you." But so many of you are still asking from a place of doubt. You pray, "I hope this works out," instead of declaring, "It is already mine by divine right." The universe listens to the vibration behind your words. Fear has a sound. Faith has a sound. And heaven responds to the sound of certainty. I recall working with a young man who was seeking employment. He had applied for dozens of jobs, attended interviews, and received nothing but rejection. His words reflected his experience. He would say, "I'm still looking, but it's so hard to find work." I said to him, "You are speaking from lack. You are confirming what you do not want." I taught him a new way of speaking. I am divinely led to the perfect position. The right opportunity is mine now, and I receive it with grace and ease. I told him to speak these words daily, not as a wish, but as a fact. Within 3 weeks, he was offered a position that was better than any he had applied for. That is not coincidence, that is law. Speaking as if it is done is not pretending. It is not lying to yourself. It is aligning your words with a higher truth that already exists in spirit. The spiritual world is more real than the physical. What you desire already exists in divine mind. Your faith and your words simply draw it into the physical realm. When you declare, "I am healed," even when you feel sick, you are not denying your condition. You are affirming the greater reality of your wholeness in God. When you say, "I am abundantly supplied," even when your bank account is empty, you are not ignoring facts. You are calling forth truth that will change those facts. This is why Jesus spoke with authority. He did not plead, he declared. He thanked God before the miracle appeared. This is the pattern for your life. Speak gratitude before you see the answer. Declare abundance while you still see lack. Speak peace in the middle of chaos. Faith-filled words have creative power because they are backed by the law of God. Today, begin practicing this. Choose one area of your life that feels stuck or hopeless. Write a powerful affirmation that declares it already resolved. Speak it out loud every morning and every night. For example, "I walk in perfect health and strength." "I am surrounded by love and divine relationships." "I receive unexpected blessings daily." Say it with conviction. Say it with joy. Refuse to let circumstances silence your voice of faith. The moment you speak as if it is already done, you activate a spiritual law that rearranges everything in your favor. People will come into your life unexpectedly. Opportunities will appear out of nowhere. Healing will begin. The power is not in the situation changing first. The power is in your words changing first. You are not begging for miracles. You are commanding them into your life through the authority God has given you. Speak victory, speak abundance. Speak as if it is already done, because in spirit, it already is. Your words do more than describe your life. They shape the very atmosphere around you. The moment you speak, you release a vibration that fills the space you are in. Walk into a room where people have been arguing, and you can feel the heaviness in the air. Words have created that energy. Walk into a home where gratitude is spoken daily, and you will sense peace as if it is woven into the walls. This is no mystery. This is spiritual law in action. Your words are not just sound waves, they are spiritual forces that create an environment, a magnetic field, that either attracts blessings or repels them. Many people underestimate the power of their words because they cannot see them physically. But think about music. You cannot see sound, yet it can calm your mind or stir your emotions. Words are even more powerful because they carry intention. When you speak faith, you are literally charging the atmosphere around you with belief and expectation. When you speak fear, you are filling that same atmosphere with doubt and limitation. The environment you live in is a mirror of the words spoken within it. I remember visiting a woman who was constantly ill and struggling financially. The moment I stepped into her home, I could feel an energy of despair. She sighed as she spoke, "I'll never get better. Everything in my life is so hard." She repeated this over and over, day after day. Her words had become like a thick fog that clung to her environment. I encouraged her to begin filling her home with words of life. I gave her affirmations. I am surrounded by divine love. Healing flows through every room of my house. Prosperity and peace live here. She began speaking these declarations daily, playing uplifting music, and refusing to complain. Within months, her health improved, opportunities appeared, and even her home felt different. Friends would visit and say, "Your house feels lighter." What changed? The truth was simple: her words changed the atmosphere. This same principle applies everywhere you go. Speak blessings over your workplace, your relationships, and your community. Declare peace in your home. Speak abundance over your finances. Words set the tone of every room you enter. That is why you must never underestimate the sound of your own voice. When you speak words of faith, angels respond. The Spirit of God fills the atmosphere with guidance and favor. Miracles are drawn to an environment where faith is alive. Some people carry negativity wherever they go because their words are filled with criticism and fear. They wonder why opportunities slip away, why people avoid them, why life feels heavy. But the one who speaks blessings creates an energy that attracts good things. People are drawn to them, favor follows them, and miracles seem to find them with ease. This is not luck. It is the law of the spoken word shaping their atmosphere. Today, I want you to make a decision: become a steward of your environment. Guard the atmosphere of your home. Refuse to let complaining or gossip poison the space you live in. Instead, fill it with gratitude, prayer, and declarations of abundance. Play music that lifts your spirit. Speak affirmations in every room. Say out loud, "This home is filled with love, peace, and prosperity. Divine order surrounds me here." You will begin to feel the shift. Visitors will notice the difference, and, more importantly, blessings will flow into a space prepared for them. You are not just speaking words, you are creating a world. The energy of your life is built by the words you speak daily. Transform your speech, and you will transform your atmosphere. When your home and your heart are charged with faith, miracles cannot help but manifest. Let me tell you a story that will show you how powerful your words truly are. Years ago, A man came to me utterly defeated. He had lost his job, his business had failed, and his relationships were crumbling. His clothes were worn, his face carried the weight of despair, and he said to me, "Mrs. Shinn, I don't know what to do. Everything I touch falls apart. Nothing ever works for me." I listened carefully and then said, "Do you realize what you just did? You prophesied failure over your life with your own words." He looked startled. "But it's true," he said. "I've been through so much. I've tried everything, and nothing changes." I leaned forward and said, "My dear, it's not that nothing changes. It's that your words have locked your life in this pattern. You keep declaring defeat, so life is giving you more of it. But the same law that has been working against you can work for you. You can speak your way into a new life." At first, he didn't believe me. Years of struggle had hardened him, but I could see he was ready for change. I gave him an affirmation. I am divinely led to my perfect work. I am prosperous, favored, and successful. Everything I touch now prospers. I told him to speak these words daily, not as a desperate wish, but as a decree, as if they were already true. He hesitated but agreed to try. In the first week, nothing happened. He felt foolish, saying words that didn't match his reality, but I encouraged him to keep going. "You are planting seeds," I said. "Do not expect an oak tree overnight. Keep speaking, and trust the law." 2 weeks later, something shifted. A friend he hadn't seen in years called him unexpectedly, offering him a small project. It wasn't much, but he accepted and spoke gratitude over it, declaring, "This is the beginning of my prosperity." That project led to another opportunity, then another. Within 3 months, he had steady work, and within a year, he had rebuilt his finances and launched a business that began thriving. When I saw him again, he was transformed. He stood tall, his eyes bright with hope. He said to me, "Mrs. Shinn, I used to think my words didn't matter. I used to think my life was cursed. But I realized I was the one cursing myself with every negative sentence. Now I speak success, and I see it everywhere. I speak prosperity, and doors open. I speak joy, and I feel it." That man's story is not unusual. I have seen it countless times. People come to me broken, convinced life is against them, and I show them that their words have been their worst enemy. The moment they begin to speak differently, their world begins to change. Why? Because words are creative forces. The law of the spoken word does not discriminate. It simply manifests what you decree. This man's transformation is proof of a powerful truth. You are never stuck. You are never hopeless. You may have been planting weeds with your words for years, but today, you can start planting roses. You can speak your way out of debt, out of sickness, out of loneliness, out of fear. The same voice that built the life you have now can build a life of abundance, health, and peace. Let his story inspire you. If he could rise from failure by changing his speech, so can you. Your life is waiting to hear new words from your mouth. Words of victory, faith, and power. Speak them boldly, and watch transformation become your testimony too. It is not enough to hear this truth once and feel inspired for a moment. To truly transform your life, you must create a daily practice, a spiritual routine that makes speaking life a natural part of who you are. Just as you brush your teeth or eat breakfast every day, you must care for your spirit daily with intentional words. This is not a burden, it is a gift. You are retraining your mind, renewing your heart, and creating a new world through your speech. Let me give you a simple yet powerful 3-step routine that will shift your life dramatically if you practice it faithfully. Step 1: begin your day with gratitude and declaration. The first words you speak in the morning set the tone for your entire day. Most people wake up and immediately speak fear. I'm so tired. I have so much to do. I'm already stressed. They do not realize they are programming their day with defeat before it even begins. Instead, when you open your eyes, speak gratitude. Thank you, Spirit, for another day. Thank you for health, strength, and guidance. Then declare your expectations. This is a day of miracles. Everything I need flows to me with speed and ease. I am divinely guided every step of the way. By doing this, you align your heart and mind with abundance before you even leave your bed. Step 2: watch your words all day. Throughout your day, pay attention to what comes out of your mouth. When you feel tempted to complain, pause and replace that complaint with a declaration of faith. If you feel fear, speak courage. If you face a problem, do not magnify it with words, speak the solution. Say, every challenge is already resolved in divine mind. I walk in favor and wisdom. Imagine yourself as a guardian at the gate of your own destiny. Only words of life are allowed to pass through. This practice will make you more aware of your thoughts. 2. Because your words always reveal what you are thinking. By speaking faith, you are retraining your mind to believe truth over appearances. Step 3: end your day with peaceful affirmations. Before you sleep, cleanse your mind and your environment with words of peace. Too many people go to bed rehearsing worry, anger, or fear. Then they wonder why they wake up tired and burdened. Tonight, before you close your eyes, declare, I release every burden and trust Spirit to handle every detail of my life. I rest in perfect peace, knowing I am cared for and guided. Tomorrow will be even better than today. These affirmations create an atmosphere of peace around you. Your subconscious mind will take those words and work on your behalf while you sleep. I also encourage you to create a small list of your favorite affirmations, powerful truths that speak directly to your needs. Write them down and carry them with you. Throughout the day, whisper them quietly to yourself, especially when fear tries to creep in. Words like, I am divinely protected and abundantly supplied. Everything I desire comes to me at the perfect time. I am favored, chosen, and guided. If you will practice these 3 steps, morning declarations, daytime vigilance, and nighttime affirmations, your life will begin to shift in ways you never imagined. People will sense a new energy around you. Opportunities will find you. Problems will dissolve, and you will live in peace, knowing you are co-creating with Spirit through the power of your words. Your mouth is the most powerful tool you possess. Do not use it to curse your life. Use it to bless your life. Make this routine a daily habit. And soon speaking faith will not be something you have to remember. It will become your natural language, and your life will blossom in response. Your tomorrow is not waiting for luck, it is waiting for your words. Right now, this very moment, you are writing the script for the life you will live next week, next month, and next year. Every declaration you speak, every affirmation you whisper, every word you choose, is a building block of your destiny. If you do not like the life you see today, you have the power to rewrite it. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law. The scriptures declare, "It is done unto you as you believe." And belief is not just a thought you hold. It is expressed in every word you speak. So I ask you, what are you prophesying over your life? Are you speaking defeat, or are you speaking victory? Are you planting seeds of fear, or seeds of faith? Because whether you realize it or not, every word is a seed. Your life is the harvest of the words you have been planting for years. And the beauty of God's grace is this: no matter what weeds have grown, you can start planting a new garden today. I challenge you, for the next 7 days, to be bold enough to guard your tongue like a treasure chest. Speak only what you want to see. Declare only what is in harmony with divine truth. If you feel fear, replace it with faith. I am safe. I am guided. I am supplied. If you feel lack, speak abundance. I live in a universe of infinite supply, and all that is mine comes to me now under grace. If you feel unworthy, declare your inheritance. I am a child of God, and every good thing is mine by divine right. Your words are not powerless whispers. They are keys, and each key either opens a door or locks one shut. Stop locking yourself in prisons of doubt and despair. Open the doors to abundance, peace, and joy with words of truth. Speak life over your family. Speak life over your finances. Speak life over your health. And as you speak, imagine the unseen realm shifting to make your words reality. Because that is exactly what happens. I have seen people rise from hopelessness to joy simply by changing their speech. I have seen debts erased, sickness healed, and relationships restored, not by frantic effort, but by the power of faith-filled words. The law of the spoken word works for anyone who dares to use it. And today, you are being invited to step into that power. So I say to you now, stop waiting for a miracle. Start declaring it. Stop wishing for a new life. Start speaking it into existence. Your voice carries the creative breath of God. When you speak truth, heaven listens. Angels move. Circumstances shift. Doors swing open. And blessings that once felt impossible will come rushing to meet you. Let this be your decision. From this day forward, your words will no longer be careless. They will be creative. They will not tear down, they will build. They will not reflect fear, they will reflect faith. And soon, your world will become a living testimony of what happens when a child of God dares to speak life with boldness. So rise up today. Put this message into action. Start with gratitude. Speak your affirmations out loud. Declare victory. And watch your life transform, because when you speak life, tomorrow has no choice but to bloom. This is your moment. This is your law. And this is your invitation. Create your tomorrow with every word you speak today.
You are not a creature of chance. You are a channel of divine law, and within you lies the limitless power of substance and supply. There is no luck in the kingdom, only the perfect outworking of spiritual law. To win the lottery, or manifest anything your heart desires, you must understand this truth: your word is your wand, and what you speak with faith and clarity must come to pass. Many believe that winning the lottery is a game of numbers, tickets, and odds. But I tell you, it is first and foremost a game of consciousness. The outside world is but a reflection of your inner state. The millions you seek already exist, not just in vaults and machines, but in the infinite substance of spirit, awaiting your claim. You must begin by cleansing your mind of fear, doubt, and disbelief. These are the enemies of demonstration. Speak to them as the Christ did. Get thee behind me. You cannot manifest abundance while entertaining the shadows of limitation. Instead, affirm with conviction. Divine substance flows to me now in perfect ways. I am open and ready to receive my good. When you speak this, do not speak it as a beggar, but as a child of God, a joint heir to the infinite riches of the universe. The lottery is simply a vehicle, a channel. And it is no more difficult for Spirit to deliver you millions through that means than through any other. Do not be concerned with the how that belongs to divine intelligence. Your part is to believe, receive, and expect. See yourself already in possession of your winnings, not merely in daydream, but in vivid, living faith. Walk through your home as if it were already paid in full. Write checks in your imagination with the confidence of wealth. Feel the thrill of giving generously, blessing others from your overflow. This is not fantasy. This is spiritual rehearsal, and it is law. Be wary of idle words, for the subconscious does not discriminate. If you say, "I never win," then so it shall be. Replace all such declarations with truth. Speak this: everything I touch prospers. Money is drawn to me in miraculous and unexpected ways. I am the winner of divine favor and limitless supply. Repeat it until your heart believes what your lips declare. And remember, gratitude is the magnetic force of manifestation. Give thanks for your winnings before they appear. Rejoice as if the check were already in your hands. This is faith, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Do not waver. Do not look to others for confirmation. Stand firm in your knowing. The world may call it impossible, but you know better with God. All things are possible. The lottery, the millions, the moment, it is all forming now in the unseen, ready to appear at the appointed hour. Speak your word, bless your desire, and stay in the joy of certainty. Your word is your wand. This is not a metaphor, it is a spiritual law as exact and precise as gravity. The words you speak, silently or aloud, are not casual utterances. They are commands to the universe, instructions sent into the invisible, shaping your life, your experiences, and your outcomes. Most people speak without awareness, using language like a careless painter spilling colors onto a canvas. But when you awaken to the truth that your word holds the power of creation, you begin to wield your speech like a magician his wand, deliberately, precisely, and with unwavering authority. What is this word that carries so much power? It is not just sound vibrating in the air. It is the expression of belief, the form of your inner consciousness given shape and substance. The word is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. When you speak, you are not merely describing the world, you are directing it. Every sentence you utter is either blessing or cursing your future. You are either calling forth abundance or repelling it with declarations of doubt and fear. Words are creative energy. They are alive with vibration and resonance. They impress themselves upon your subconscious mind and the universal field, magnetizing people, conditions, and opportunities in exact correspondence to their tone and substance. When you say, "I never win," the law agrees and sets in motion all things necessary to make it true. But when you declare, "I am a winner, I am divinely guided to wealth," the same law goes to work fulfilling that decree. The law is impersonal. It does not reason. It does not judge. It only reflects. In spiritual law, there is no such thing as an idle word. Every phrase carries weight, and no declaration is without effect. This is why the scriptures speak of the power of the tongue. Because the tongue, when used with faith, aligns with infinite power. The wise soul learns to guard their speech, not out of superstition, but out of reverence for the unseen laws that govern all manifestation. Speaking carelessly is like planting weeds in the fertile soil of your mind. They will grow, and they will choke out your good. So many individuals cry out for change, for money, for health, for love, yet their mouths betray them. They affirm lack even as they desire abundance. They speak of how expensive everything is, how difficult life has become, how unfair the system is, and then they wonder why nothing shifts. Their word is canceling their prayer. You cannot sow fear with your speech and expect a harvest of prosperity. The law does not bend for contradiction. It is as faithful to your beliefs as a mirror is to your face. The first step in reclaiming your creative power is to become radically aware of what you are saying. Begin to listen, truly listen, to the words you use daily. Are they words of increase or words of decline? Are you speaking life into your finances, or are you reinforcing struggle? When you catch yourself speaking lack, do not condemn yourself, simply correct it. Replace every limiting statement with one of truth. If you say, "I can't afford that," immediately say, "Wealth is on its way to me now." If you say, "I always lose," replace it with, "Everything always works out in my favor." This is not denial. It is spiritual discipline. Your word is also your point of contact with divine mind. It is how you claim your good from the infinite supply. You do not have to beg, barter, or struggle. You speak your word with authority, as one who knows. The moment you declare your desire, clearly, affirmatively, and without doubt, the wheels begin to turn in the unseen. The form may not appear instantly, but the cause is already set in motion. This is why consistency of speech is so vital. You must not contradict your declaration with words of fear or impatience. Imagine the farmer who plants a seed and then digs it up every day to see if it's growing. He kills the seed by his doubt. The wise farmer plants and trusts. So it is with the spoken word. Declare your good once, clearly, boldly, and then maintain that vibration with every word that follows. Speak as if your desire is already yours, because in truth it is. In the invisible realm, the substance has been claimed. The word has gone forth and will not return void. It will accomplish that which it was sent to do. Let your word be filled with praise and expectation. Praise lifts you into the vibration of receiving. When you speak well of your life, your finances, your destiny, you are watering the garden of your good. Say aloud daily, "I am aligned with divine abundance. My word is law. Everything I speak comes to pass." Let this become your mantra, not once or twice, but as a lifestyle. The more you affirm with joy and certainty, the more you train your subconscious to accept the new truth. And once accepted, the demonstration must appear. The spoken word is also your defense. When fear arises, do not entertain it in silence. Speak against it. Declare, "I do not believe in lack. I do not believe in chance. I believe in divine order and my perfect supply." When others speak fear or lack around you, bless them silently, but do not join them. Do not agree with their reality, for to do so is to make it your own. If someone says, "The economy is collapsing," you may simply respond, "That may be true for some, but I live under grace. I am always provided for." In doing so, you shield your consciousness from collective fear and remain aligned with truth. You may notice that when you begin to use your word consciously, resistance will arise. Old beliefs will attempt to contradict your new affirmations. This is natural. The subconscious does not change instantly. It is trained through repetition and feeling. Do not be discouraged. Continue to speak the word until the inner atmosphere shifts. When your affirmations begin to feel natural, you will know the seed has taken root. There is a great mystery in the spoken word, not because it is complicated, but because it is so often overlooked. People seek rituals, charms, numbers, and systems to win the lottery or manifest wealth, yet ignore the most potent tool they possess: their own voice. Your word, spoken with faith, is more powerful than any superstition. It aligns you with the creative force of the universe. It tells the law exactly what to produce for you. And it is available at all times, in all places, to all who will use it with wisdom and conviction. The true magician is not one who manipulates external forces, but one who understands the creative power of inner law and externalizes it through the word. This is how the invisible becomes visible. Speak wealth, and wealth will appear. Speak success, and success will unfold. Speak peace, and peace will surround you. But speak it not as a wish, speak it as a knowing. Let your word be firm, simple, and radiant with certainty. The universe does not respond to pleading. It responds to command. The command of the word, spoken in alignment with truth, Consciousness creates reality. This is not theory or abstraction, it is the foundational law upon which your entire life is built. Your outer world is a mirror, a perfect reflection of the inner state of your mind. Whatever you hold to be true within, whether by faith or fear, must eventually express itself without. The visible world is but the offspring of the invisible, and your consciousness, your beliefs, expectations, mental pictures and inner dialogues, is the creative womb. All manifestation begins there. Most people imagine that circumstances shape their consciousness, but the truth is reversed. Your consciousness shapes your circumstances. Every event, every relationship, every financial situation you face is the harvest of seeds planted in thought and feeling. This is not to place blame, but to illuminate power. Once you grasp that your reality is not happening to you but through you, you step out of the role of victim and into the role of co-creator with the infinite. The essence of consciousness is belief. What you truly believe. Not what you say you believe, but what you feel in the quiet places of your heart, is what manifests in your life. You may affirm wealth with your mouth, but if your consciousness is soaked in fear, guilt, or feelings of unworthiness, you will continue to attract experiences of lack. The law does not respond to words alone. It responds to the vibration behind the words. That vibration is set by the content of your consciousness. To change your outer world, you must first attend to the inner landscape. Begin by observing your habitual thoughts. What do you tell yourself about money, about opportunity, about success? Do you say, "I always struggle," or "Nothing ever works out for me"? These statements are not mere expressions of frustration, they are creative decrees. They reveal your inner beliefs, and those beliefs are the molds into which life must pour itself. If you desire to win the lottery, it is not enough to purchase a ticket and hope. You must align your consciousness with the frequency of winning. You must become the kind of person who wins, not by changing your actions alone, but by shifting your entire internal state. You must see yourself as lucky, favored, magnetic to wealth, chosen by the divine to receive great abundance. If this feels unnatural, it is only because your current consciousness is not yet in agreement with that image. But with repetition, imagination, and faith, the new consciousness can be formed. Your subconscious mind accepts whatever idea is impressed upon it with feeling and repetition. It does not argue, it only receives. If you continue to dwell on the thought, "I never win," your subconscious accepts it as truth and organizes your experience accordingly. But when you persistently affirm, "I am a winner, I am aligned with divine favor, I attract miracles," and do so with conviction, you reprogram the inner pattern. Over time, the outer must shift to reflect the new inner state. Visualization is one of the great tools for transforming consciousness. When you consistently imagine yourself receiving what you desire, with full emotion and sensory detail, you are instructing your subconscious to accept a new version of reality. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is imagined vividly and what is experienced physically. It takes everything as real. So, if you desire to win the lottery, do not only visualize holding the check or hearing the winning numbers. Visualize how you feel, what you wear, what conversations you have, how your life is transformed. The more real it becomes within, the more inevitable it becomes without. Emotion is the activating force of consciousness. A belief held without feeling is weak. It lacks the magnetic charge needed to draw its counterpart into physical form. But a belief saturated with emotion, joy, gratitude, excitement, certainty, becomes a living power. That is why gratitude is such a potent force in the creative process. When you give thanks in advance for your good, you are affirming that it already exists. This builds emotional certainty, which shifts your consciousness into the vibration of receiving. It is also important to understand that consciousness operates through focus. Whatever you consistently place your attention upon, you are feeding with your energy. Attention is like sunlight, it causes whatever it touches to grow. If you spend hours focusing on debt, lack, or fear, you are strengthening those patterns in your life. But if you redirect your attention toward abundance, ease, and success, even if they have not yet fully appeared, you are giving power to those realities. What you focus on expands. The collective consciousness also plays a role. We live in a world where many people believe in lack, limitation, and struggle. These beliefs are in the atmosphere, and unless you are conscious, you may absorb them without realizing it. That is why spiritual discipline is necessary. You must choose your beliefs deliberately, not inherit them passively. You must declare, I do not believe in lack. I believe in divine supply. I am immune to the limiting beliefs of the world. In doing so, you create a sacred space in your mind, a sanctuary for truth, immune to the noise of the outer world. Consciousness is not only about belief, but also about identity. Who do you think you are? What kind of person do you believe yourself to be? Your self-concept is the most powerful aspect of your consciousness because it determines what you allow yourself to receive. If you see yourself as unworthy, inferior, or cursed, no amount of affirmations will override that until the identity itself is transformed. Begin to speak a new story. I am worthy of wealth. I am a divine being. I am favored, chosen, and destined for greatness. When you change your concept of self, your entire world rearranges to reflect it. People treat you differently. Opportunities emerge. Coincidences align. This is not magic. It is the law of consciousness in action. The outer world is a perfect servant to the inner command. Your role is not to chase or force, but to become. When you become abundant in consciousness, abundance must appear in form. This is why effort alone cannot guarantee success. You may take all the right actions, but if your consciousness contradicts them, the results will falter. Conversely, when your consciousness is aligned, even small actions can yield miraculous results. The inner precedes the outer. You are not trying to make something happen. You are aligning with what already is, in the higher realm of truth. The millions you desire already exist, not in some distant future, but in the eternal now. They exist as possibility, awaiting your permission to become formed through the channel of your consciousness. Doubt and fear are simply signs that your consciousness is still tethered to old beliefs. Do not resist them, but gently replace them. Every time a fearful thought arises, counter it with truth. If you think, what if I never win? Respond immediately with, what if I win in the most unexpected and joyful way? Train your mind to dwell on possibility, not probability. Faith is not passive. It is an act of creative focus. There is no outer condition that can override the authority of your inner state. No economy, no background, no history can prevent the fulfillment of what your consciousness accepts as true. This is the great equalizer. You do not need connections, education, or luck. You need only the clear, confident conviction that your desire is real, that it is yours, and that it is on its way to you now. You are not separate from what you seek. You and your desire are one. The moment you desired it, it was already yours in potential. Your task is to remove every inner barrier to its expression. Every belief of limitation, every fear of unworthiness, every story of impossibility. Strip away the false, and the true must emerge. The universe does not withhold, it only waits for agreement. When your consciousness says yes, the form cannot say no. Visualize with faith and feeling. This is one of the most powerful truths of spiritual law. Visualization is not wishful thinking, nor is it idle fantasy. It is the deliberate use of your inner eye to impress the subconscious mind with a picture so vivid, so emotionally alive, that the universe has no choice but to reflect it back to you in form. The imagination is not merely a place for creative escape. It is a sacred faculty, a spiritual blueprinting tool, a means of aligning with the invisible substance of what you desire. What you see in your mind with clarity and conviction becomes the pattern around which physical reality forms. The world you see outside of yourself is the result of the images that have taken root within. Therefore, if you desire to win the lottery, or to manifest any other form of wealth, you must first win it in consciousness. You must become so saturated with the inner image of success, so in love with your desired reality, that your emotional and mental state begins to live as if it were already true. This is not pretending. This is creation. Pretending has no faith in it. It is rooted in the awareness that something is not yet real. But spiritual visualization requires you to know that what you see in your mind is already yours in the higher realm of divine substance. Faith adds the substance, feeling charges the vibration. The clearer the picture and the deeper the emotion, the faster the manifestation. Your job is not to force it into existence. It is to dwell in it, emotionally and mentally, until the vibration of what you desire becomes your natural state. Begin your visualization in a calm, centered state. Relax the body. Quiet the mind. Breathe deeply and allow the outer world to dissolve from your attention. Then, gently bring into your inner view the scene of your fulfilled desire. If your goal is to win the lottery, see yourself with the winning ticket. See the numbers match. Hear the announcement. Picture yourself checking the results with awe and joy. Feel your heart race. Let yourself cry with gratitude. Let your hands tremble with excitement. The more detailed and emotional the image, the more alive it becomes in the subconscious. Your subconscious mind is the creative workshop of the universe, but it does not understand logic or reason. It understands images and feelings. When you visualize with full emotion, you bypass the conscious filters of doubt and skepticism. You go straight to the core of belief, which is where creation takes place. The subconscious accepts the emotionalized image as reality and begins to move people, conditions, and resources to fulfill the mental mold you have established. It is important to repeat your visualization daily. Consistency builds belief. Each time you visit your mental image, you are carving it deeper into the subconscious. You are watering the seed. You are reinforcing the vibration. Eventually, what once felt like fantasy will begin to feel normal. And when your desired reality feels emotionally familiar, it is close to appearing. Emotion is the secret signal to the universe. When you can feel your way into your new life before it shows up, you collapse time and draw the outcome to you swiftly. Do not only visualize the moment of winning, visualize the entire lifestyle. See yourself living in your new home. See your bank account full. Hear yourself speaking to loved ones about your blessings. Walk through stores knowing you can buy anything you want. Picture yourself blessing others with gifts and donations. Immerse your senses in the life you desire to live. Smell the fresh linens. Feel the soft leather seats of your new car. Taste the finest foods. Hear the joyful conversations of freedom. This sensory involvement convinces your subconscious that the experience is real. The key is not only to see it, but to feel it. Emotion is the magnet. A dry mental picture has little creative power, but a picture soaked in love, joy, excitement, and gratitude becomes a magnetic force that pulls the physical experience toward you. Feel the success in your bones. Let your whole body tingle with expectancy. Let your heart sing with the knowing that it is done. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the most important part of this process. It turns a casual hope into a divine certainty. At times, the conscious mind will resist, doubts may arise. Voices from the past may say, "It's not possible," or "People like you don't get that lucky." Do not argue with these thoughts. Transcend them. Let them pass like clouds across the sky. Return your attention to your vision. Reaffirm your knowing. Say to yourself, "This is real. I am aligned with it now. It belongs to me by divine right." Repetition silences resistance. Persistence dissolves fear. You must also remove the need to figure out how it will happen. The how is not your concern. Your work is to maintain the vision with faith and feeling. The universe has infinite channels. The winning ticket is one such channel, but there are many. Trust that the path will be revealed at the perfect time. Keep your energy pure, your vision bright, and your emotion high. This is the posture of demonstration. This is the attitude of spiritual mastery. Be mindful of the emotions you carry after your visualization session. If you visualize abundance for 10 minutes, but spend the rest of the day in anxiety, lack, and frustration, you are working against your own creation. Aim to carry the vibration throughout your day. Smile as you walk. Give thanks for small blessings. Speak words of wealth. Keep your vibration in harmony with the image you created. This emotional alignment is what brings the invisible into the visible. Use affirmations to support your visualization. Speak them during the day to reinforce the image. Say things like, I am divinely favored. Wealth flows to me now. My dream is manifesting quickly. I am aligned with winning energy. Affirmations are like verbal extensions of your visualization. They keep the energy moving, the belief strong, and the vibration high. Whenever doubt tries to creep in, you have a tool ready to redirect your focus. Visualizing with faith and feeling is not limited by time. You are not waiting for years. In truth, manifestation is not about time. It is about alignment. The moment your inner state matches the vibration of your desire, the path opens and the form begins to materialize. Sometimes it comes quickly, other times it comes through a process. But the spiritual law is unfailing. That which you feel deeply, believe completely, and see clearly, must eventually appear in your life. Avoid turning visualization into a rigid duty. Let it be a joyful ritual. Make it sacred. Approach it with reverence. Know that each session is planting seeds in the soil of spirit. Each image is a message to the universe. Each feeling is a vibration calling forth your good. Let it be playful, powerful, alive. Let it stir your soul and raise your energy. When visualization becomes a way of being, when it lives in your heart and not just your mind, you are no longer reaching for your dream. You are living in it, and it must meet you in the outer world. Gratitude precedes manifestation. This is a principle that governs all spiritual law. Gratitude is not merely a reaction to receiving something. It is a force that draws the unseen into the seen. It is not reserved for moments of visible blessing, but must be cultivated as a state of being, a vibrational frequency that aligns you with the very things you seek. When you give thanks before your desire appears, you declare with your entire being that it is already done. You are not asking in desperation. You are receiving in certainty. You are affirming the truth that in the higher realm of spirit, everything you desire already exists, and your gratitude is the bridge that calls it forth. Gratitude is the spiritual signal that you are ready to receive. It tells the universe that you recognize abundance, that you expect it, and that you are open to its arrival. Many wait to feel grateful until after the gift has arrived, but this is not how the creative process works. To wait is to doubt. To wait is to keep the door closed. But when you give thanks in advance, you open the way for the flow of divine substance. You are acting in faith, and faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith-filled gratitude says, I know that what I desire is on its way. I know the universe has already answered. I trust divine timing and I rejoice in advance. When you desire to win the lottery or receive a great sum of money, it is easy to look at your current bank account and feel lack. But spiritual wisdom teaches you to turn your attention from what appears to be missing and focus on what is already present in potential. Gratitude does not depend on outer evidence, it creates the evidence. Begin your day by giving thanks not only for the blessings you can see, but for those that are unfolding in the invisible. Say aloud, I give thanks for divine increase. I give thanks for unexpected wealth. I give thanks that all my needs are met abundantly. I give thanks that money comes to me now through channels seen and unseen. Gratitude elevates your vibration. It lifts you out of complaint, fear, and resistance, and places you in harmony with divine flow. Every word of thanks sends a wave of receptive energy into the universe. You cannot feel grateful and fearful at the same time. You cannot bless and complain in the same breath. One displaces the other. So choose the higher frequency. Choose to praise instead of panic. Choose to appreciate instead of analyze. When your energy is steeped in gratitude, miracles are not rare. They become your natural experience. It is important to understand that gratitude must be sincere. It cannot be forced, and it cannot be faked. Empty words carry no power, but when you allow your heart to truly open, to feel the reality of your answered prayer before it takes form, you activate the law of attraction in its highest form. Gratitude is the feeling of already having. It is the emotional confirmation that your desire is yours now. When you feel this deeply, your subconscious mind begins to adjust your beliefs, your behavior, and your expectations to align with that new reality. Practice being thankful for things that have not yet appeared. If you are visualizing a lottery win, give thanks as if the ticket has already been drawn in your favor. Walk through your day with the energy of a person who has already received their good. Let your words reflect it. Let your posture reflect it. Let your choices reflect it. This is not fantasy, it is alignment. Your consistent gratitude begins to mold the formless into form. What you continually appreciate, you magnetize. What you celebrate, you multiply. Gratitude also transforms your perception. The more you practice it, the more you begin to notice beauty, opportunity, and blessings where others see nothing. You become more sensitive to the ways in which life is already supporting you. This expands your consciousness and prepares it to receive even more. You begin to see that wealth is not just a number in a bank account, but a state of being, a relationship with life. You start to appreciate the smallest things, the sunlight on your face, the kindness of a stranger, the quiet strength within you, and in doing so, you expand your capacity to receive the greater things. It is a great mistake to only be grateful for what you consider good. True gratitude blesses all things, even those that appear challenging. For challenges are often the very vehicles that bring about your transformation. When you can give thanks for delays, detours, and difficulties, you rise above them. You claim mastery over them. You declare that every experience is working for your highest good, and in doing so, you release resistance and open the way for accelerated blessing. Say often, I am grateful for every part of my journey. I trust the process. I know that even now things are unfolding perfectly. Make gratitude a habit, not a reaction. Keep a journal. Write down 10 things each day that you are thankful for, including those that have not yet appeared. Speak your thanks out loud in the morning. Whisper it before you sleep. Let your environment be charged with the energy of appreciation. Bless your food, your water, your home. Bless your wallet and your bank account. Even if the balance is small, give thanks for what is there, knowing that it is a seed that will multiply under the warmth of your gratitude. Treat everything you have as sacred, and you will begin to see increase in all areas of your life. When doubt comes, and it will, do not fight it, replace it with thanks. If you find yourself thinking, what if it doesn't happen? Immediately say, thank you that it is already happening. Gratitude is a sword that cuts through worry. It anchors you in the present moment and affirms that all is well. You cannot dwell in both fear and thankfulness. Gratitude is the antidote, the remedy, the spiritual medicine that aligns your body, mind, and spirit with the highest truth. Surround yourself with people who speak gratitude. Listen to voices, read words, and engage in practices that uplift you. Negativity is contagious, but so is praise. Build a community of gratitude within and around you. Be the person who gives thanks first, who notices blessings others miss, who walks through life with a heart wide open. This is not just about being positive, it is about being powerful. Gratitude is your power. It turns the wheel of manifestation, it sets the tone for miracles. It declares, I trust, I receive, I celebrate. Remember that gratitude is not a step in the process, it is the process. It is the state in which all true creation occurs. When you live in gratitude, you live in connection with Source. You are no longer striving, you are allowing. You are no longer seeking, you are recognizing. The thing you desire is not far away. It is not something to chase. It is something to welcome. Gratitude opens the door. Gratitude invites it in. Gratitude makes it stay. Release doubt, embrace divine timing. This is one of the most essential truths in the process of spiritual manifestation. Doubt is the subtle thief of dreams, the unseen weight that slows down the arrival of your desires. It is the quiet voice that whispers, what if it doesn't happen? Or, what if I'm not worthy? Doubt creates spiritual static. It interrupts the flow of creative power. It pulls your energy backward, away from faith and into fear. Doubt is not just a fleeting feeling. It is a statement of disbelief, and the universe responds to it as a command. When you hold doubt, even unconsciously, you create delay. When you release doubt, you open the way. Releasing doubt does not mean pretending it never arises. It means becoming so anchored in truth, so grounded in faith, that when doubt does appear, it cannot take root. It means choosing again. Every time you notice a doubtful thought, you consciously turn away from it and return to what is real. You declare, "This too shall pass. My good is certain. What I desire is already mine in spirit." You do not fight doubt. You dissolve it by returning to the vibration of trust. You train your mind to lean on the invisible, to rest in the divine process, to believe in things unseen. Faith is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of certainty in the midst of uncertainty. It is the ability to hold your vision steady while the outer world appears unchanged. Faith says, "I know that what I desire is already created. I know that the universe is organizing itself for my good. I know that every moment brings me closer." This is not blind optimism. This is spiritual authority. It is knowing that the law of cause and effect is always at work, and that once the inner cause is set, the outer effect must follow. Divine timing is not your timing. It does not operate by the clock on the wall, or the deadlines you set in your mind. Divine timing is based on alignment, on the perfect orchestration of people, events, and conditions that come together in harmony to deliver your desire in the most complete and beneficial form. When you trust divine timing, you stop trying to control the process. You stop asking, "When will it happen?" and start saying, "It is happening now, in the way that is most perfect for me." You begin to understand that delay is not denial. It is preparation. Sometimes your desire takes time to arrive, because your consciousness is still catching up to it. You may be visualizing wealth but still believing in struggle. You may be affirming abundance but still speaking words of fear. The universe does not withhold, it responds. When you shift fully into alignment, the timing becomes right. You don't need to force the arrival of your good. You need only to become ready to receive it. That readiness may involve inner healing, releasing limiting beliefs, or simply learning to feel worthy. Divine timing ensures that when your desire arrives, it does so in a way that blesses not only you, but everyone connected to it. It comes with grace, with completeness, with longevity. If you rush the process, you may receive a fragment of what you desire, but not the full blessing. If you wait with trust, you receive the highest expression of your vision. You receive not only what you asked for, but often more, because Spirit always moves in abundance. The seed does not sprout the moment it is planted. It takes root, grows unseen, then bursts forth when the season is right. The work of spiritual manifestation is to stay in faith regardless of what appears. This requires spiritual maturity. It requires that you do not waver. Do not flinch. Do not cancel your vision with words of doubt. It means that when others question your dream, you bless them and remain firm. It means that when things seem slow or silent, you do not fall into despair. You go deeper into trust. You use every delay as an opportunity to affirm again. All things are working together for my good. Nothing is lost in spirit. What is mine cannot be withheld. You must also be careful not to tie your faith to one outcome or one path. Divine timing often comes with divine intelligence. The universe may deliver your good in a way you never imagined. What appears to be a detour may be the direct path. What feels like a loss may be the clearing of space for something greater. When you are rigid in your expectations, you may miss the blessing. When you are open and surrendered, you recognize the good even when it arrives in disguise. Releasing doubt also means detaching from the need for constant reassurance. Many people manifest with one hand and doubt with the other. They affirm their desire in the morning and question it by noon. This split energy creates confusion. The law cannot respond clearly to a muddled signal. Your job is to send a clear, consistent message to the universe. I believe. I trust. I expect. When you hold this vibration without interruption, manifestation becomes inevitable. The outer must conform to the inner, You can practice releasing doubt by anchoring yourself in daily truth. Start the day with declarations of trust. I am safe. I am guided. My good is certain. Whenever fear arises, speak against it. I do not believe in loss. I believe in divine timing. Write down your evidence of support. Times when things worked out perfectly, even when you couldn't see how. Let this become your foundation. Build a relationship with the unseen that is stronger than any outer condition. Make your inner knowing louder than any external voice. Embracing divine timing also means honoring your intuition. The universe often guides you through inner nudges, quiet suggestions, and inspired ideas. When you follow these gentle directions, you stay in the flow. You may feel led to take a certain action, visit a place, or speak to someone. These are not coincidences. They are part of the timing. When you act on inspiration without forcing, you align with the rhythm of your manifestation. You dance with the divine, instead of dragging the process with worry. You are not separate from the timing of your blessings. Your soul knows when the moment is right. Your higher self is orchestrating all things with love and precision. There is no need to rush. There is no need to panic. The delay is not punishment. It is placement. It is preparation. It is divine choreography unfolding in perfect sequence. Trust this. Trust that the universe knows the exact hour, the precise second, when all things will come together. Trust that your desire is not lost, not forgotten, not denied. It is on its way. It is unfolding in a way that will leave you in awe. When you release doubt and embrace divine timing, you walk in peace. You no longer seek with desperation. You expect with confidence. You no longer plead, you praise. You do not strain, you surrender. You become available to miracles because your vibration is aligned with truth. You understand that what is yours cannot pass you by. You know that every delay is a setup for a greater arrival. You let go of impatience because you are living from the end. You are living as if the desire is already fulfilled. And in the mind of the infinite, it already is.
Money comes when you feel safe to receive it. Money is not waiting for the right time. It's waiting for the right feeling. You see, money doesn't flow to the anxious, the desperate, or the doubtful. It flows to the one who feels safe, safe to receive, safe to hold, safe to enjoy. The reason most people block their blessings is not because they don't deserve them. It's because, deep down, they don't feel safe having them. They fear losing it. They fear being judged. They fear change. And fear, beloved, is the invisible wall that keeps abundance outside your door. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Fear is faith inverted." It's believing more in loss than in gain, more in danger than in divine supply. But the moment you choose peace over panic, heaven begins to move, because the universe listens not to your words, but to your energy. When your heart says, "It's safe for me to be wealthy," money starts to find you, quietly, naturally, effortlessly. And that is what we are here to remember today. Money doesn't come when you work harder. It comes when you feel safer. Because safety is faith. Safety is trust. Safety is surrender to the divine plan. So take a deep breath now. Let go of every worry, every fear, every doubt. You don't have to earn peace. You just have to allow it. You are safe to receive. You are safe to be wealthy. And starting today, money will come to you. Because you finally feel safe to let it. There is a law in this universe that cannot be broken. The law of safety. It says that nothing can stay in a place where it feels unwelcome. Money, too, obeys this law. It is energy, and energy is sensitive. It gravitates toward peace and flees from fear. It feels at home with calm hearts, but it escapes from anxious ones. You see, many people work tirelessly, pray constantly, and speak affirmations daily, yet still find themselves waiting for increase. They ask, why isn't it coming? The truth is simple but rarely understood. Money does not come where it does not feel safe. It does not settle in a home filled with fear, guilt, or shame. It waits until your energy says, I am ready. I am safe. I am at peace with prosperity. Florence Scovel Shinn said, man can only receive what he feels is his by divine right. That means before money appears in your life, you must feel emotionally secure in having it. You must know, not just hope, that it is your divine right to be supported, supplied, and sustained. When that knowing becomes your normal vibration, money begins to appear naturally. Say this now: I am safe to be wealthy. I am safe to receive abundance. Again, I am safe to be wealthy. I am safe to receive abundance. One more time. I am safe to be wealthy. I am safe to receive abundance. The universe is not withholding from you. It is waiting for you to feel safe enough to hold what you've asked for. When you feel safe, your nervous system relaxes, your aura expands, and your energy becomes magnetic. That is when the flow begins. Think of a river. When the banks are calm and steady, the water flows smoothly. But when fear creates chaos, when anxiety builds walls of resistance, the flow becomes blocked. The river does not disappear, it is merely dammed by tension. Your safety releases that dam. Beloved, money wants to flow to you. It wants to partner with you, serve you, and bless others through you. But it can only do so when you believe it's safe to receive. If deep down you feel money causes pain, problems, or pressure, you will unconsciously repel it. The energy of fear whispers, "I'm not ready," and the universe listens. The energy of peace declares, "I am open," and the universe obeys. Safety is not built by the world, it is built by spirit. You don't become safe when you have money. You receive money because you already feel safe. Florence taught that faith is expectancy. Expectancy is the calm knowing that what you need will arrive. Without struggle, without strain, without delay. That calm expectancy is spiritual safety in motion. Say this now: I trust the process of my prosperity. Again, I trust the process of my prosperity. One more time, I trust the process of my prosperity. Every time you choose faith over fear, you build a foundation strong enough to hold miracles. Every time you choose peace over panic, you expand your capacity to receive. Safety is the soil of manifestation. Without it, your seeds of desire cannot take root. But once you feel safe, safe to have, safe to hold, safe to keep, the garden of wealth begins to bloom. And do you know why safety attracts so much? Because it signals trust. And trust is love. The universe cannot resist love, because it is made of love. When you love life, life loves you back. When you trust money, money trusts you back. When you feel safe with the idea of having more, more begins to find its way into your hands. Florence said, "Nothing stands between man and his highest good but fear." So today, release the fear. Release the thought that money might harm you. Release the fear of losing it once you gain it. Release the guilt of wanting more. You were never meant to struggle. You were meant to express the abundance of God through peace. Say this now: I am safe with money, and money is safe with me. Again, I am safe with money, and money is safe with me. One more time: I am safe with money, and money is safe with me. Every time you speak that truth, your energy shifts, your heart opens, your field expands, and the law of safety begins to work for you. Quietly, faithfully, perfectly, you will notice things change around you. Opportunities that once felt blocked will begin to open. People will start to respond differently to your energy. Unexpected blessings will appear, not because you chased them, but because your vibration invited them home. Money, beloved, is not your enemy. It is your ally. It wants to rest in peaceful hands. It wants to circulate through loving hearts. It wants to stay where it feels safe. And when you become that place, when your energy says, "I am safe, I am ready, I am open," you will find that money has been trying to find you all along. It is not waiting for your hard work. It is waiting for your peace. It is waiting for your safety. It is waiting for your yes. And when you say yes from your spirit, not from your fear, abundance rushes in, under grace, in perfect ways. So many people say they want abundance, but deep within, they are afraid of it. They fear what it might change. They fear who they might become. They fear being judged, envied, or misunderstood. And without realizing it, that fear becomes a silent barrier between them and the flow of money. You see, the universe always matches your inner permission. It will never give you more than you feel safe to hold. That's not punishment. It's protection. Because love will never send you what your energy still feels unsafe to receive. Florence Scovel Shinn said, Man's supply is inexhaustible when he trusts in the spirit of abundance. But you cannot trust what you fear, and many souls, without knowing, fear money itself. They associate it with stress, with loss, with power, with change. They pray for increase, but their vibration whispers, "I'm not ready." And so, the blessing waits, not denied, just delayed, until the heart feels safe. Say this now: I am ready to receive without fear. Again, I am ready to receive without fear. One more time, I am ready to receive without fear. There is a difference between wanting and allowing. Wanting comes from lack, it says, "I don't have enough." Allowing comes from safety, it says, "I trust that what is mine will come." When you allow, you relax. You open, you receive. When you want in fear, you tighten. You resist, you delay. Beloved, your only work is to feel safe in the presence of money. Not desperate for it, not suspicious of it, not guilty about it, just peaceful. It begins with forgiveness. Forgive the moments when money brought pain. Forgive yourself for misusing it, fearing it, or running from it. Forgive those who lacked wisdom with it. Money itself has no intention. It only amplifies the one who holds it. When you heal your relationship with it, you purify the channel through which abundance flows. Say this now: I forgive my past with money, and I welcome new blessings now. Again, I forgive my past with money, and I welcome new blessings now. Money wants to be with you. It wants to work through you. It wants to bless others through your hands. But it cannot dwell where fear reigns. And so, the healing begins not in your wallet, but in your heart. Florence said, "Every fear is a distrust of God." When you fear money, you are really fearing the flow of life itself. You are saying, "I don't trust that I can handle good things." But the truth is, you can. Because God never sends what you cannot carry. The same power that gave you the desire for wealth also gave you the capacity to manage it. You are built for abundance. You are designed for prosperity, and the moment you feel safe with that truth, your outer world begins to reflect it. Say this now: it is safe for me to be wealthy. Again, it is safe for me to be wealthy. One more time. It is safe for me to be wealthy. Fear of receiving often hides behind good intentions. Some people say, "I just want enough to get by," thinking humility pleases heaven. But heaven is not glorified by your limitation. It is glorified by your expansion. When you prosper, you prove divine law. When you flourish, you show what trust can do. When you overflow, you become a blessing to others. That is not greed. That is gratitude in action. Florence taught that nothing stands between man and his highest good but fear. That fear can disguise itself as modesty, guilt, or doubt. It whispers, "Who am I to be wealthy?" And Spirit answers, "You are my creation. Who are you not to be?" Say this now: I am worthy of abundance because I am one with God. Again, I am worthy of abundance because I am one with God. One more time. I am worthy of abundance because I am one with God. The fear of receiving fades when you remember your divine identity. You are not a beggar before heaven. You are a beloved heir. You are not chasing miracles. You are awakening to them. You are not earning blessings. You are aligning with them. So breathe deeply now. Imagine yourself standing under a golden waterfall of light, soft, warm, endless. That light is supply. It's love. It's money in spiritual form. It's been pouring for you all along, waiting for you to step beneath it. Feel yourself say quietly, "It's safe for me to stand here. It's safe for me to receive." Money begins to flow when fear begins to dissolve, and fear dissolves when love takes its place. You do not push it away anymore. You welcome it home. Beloved, wealth is not something you must chase. It is something that has always been around you, waiting for your permission to enter. And the moment you give that permission, not in words, but in energy, your life begins to change. You will start to notice signs: small gifts, unexpected payments, doors opening, people helping. The flow always begins gently to match your new feeling of safety. And as you continue to affirm peace, the river widens. Say this now: money feels safe with me because I feel safe with life. Again, money feels safe with me because I feel safe with life. One more time, money feels safe with me because I feel safe with life. This is how you heal the fear of receiving. By knowing that money is not your master, it is your messenger. It brings you proof that your faith works. It comes not to test you, but to bless you. And when you stop fearing it, you start freeing it. Florence said, "There is no separation between God and man, therefore, there can be no separation between man and his supply. You were never separate from abundance. You were only afraid to open the door. Now you know the truth. You are worthy. You are ready. You are safe. And the money that once seemed far away is already finding its way to you. Gently, gracefully, in perfect divine timing. It is safe for you to receive now. It is safe for you to expand now. It is safe for you to live in wealth, under grace, in perfect ways. And so it is. Money is energy. It is not paper, not numbers, not coins. It is vibration. It is spirit clothed in form. And like every vibration in the universe, it responds to emotion. When your emotions are filled with fear, money moves away. When your emotions are filled with trust, money moves closer. When you radiate peace, it rests near you. When you radiate tension, it hides. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The invisible forces are ever working for man, who is always pulling good into visibility through his faith." Your emotions are those invisible forces. They are the language through which you speak to the universe. Constantly, silently, powerfully. You may not say a word about money, yet your feelings are speaking all day long. If you feel anxious when you spend, the energy of lack speaks. If you feel guilt when you receive, the energy of unworthiness speaks. If you feel peace when you give, the energy of trust speaks. And money listens to whichever voice is the loudest. Say this now: my emotions are magnets for abundance. Again, my emotions are magnets for abundance. One more time. My emotions are magnets for abundance. You cannot deceive the universe with words alone. You can speak affirmations for hours, but if your emotions are still rooted in fear, the flow cannot come. The secret is emotional alignment. When your feelings and your words move in the same rhythm. When your declaration becomes your inner atmosphere. That is why Florence emphasized the spoken word. Not as empty repetition, but as vibration training. Each word spoken in faith tunes your emotions to the frequency of wealth. You begin to feel what you say. You begin to believe what you imagine. And when you believe, energy moves. Imagine a radio. It can only play what it is tuned to. The universe works the same way. Money, opportunity, and supply are like frequencies. If you are tuned to fear, you cannot receive abundance. Not because it isn't there, but because you are not aligned with it. Shift your emotion, and the frequency changes. Say this now: I am tuned to the frequency of peace and prosperity. Again, I am tuned to the frequency of peace and prosperity. One more time. I am tuned to the frequency of peace and prosperity. Emotional energy is the currency of manifestation. You are always paying for your reality with your emotions. Joy purchases joy. Fear purchases lack. Faith purchases miracles. And gratitude purchases overflow. If you wish to attract money, begin by managing your emotional wealth. Ask yourself, what feeling am I investing today? Because the emotion you hold is the seed of your experience. Hold worry, and you harvest delay. Hold faith, and you harvest abundance. Florence said, "The man who knows the power of the word becomes master of his world." But before your words can master your world, they must master your emotions. The energy behind your words is what shapes creation. When you say, "I am rich," but feel poor, the universe hears confusion. But when you say, "I am rich," and your heart hums with faith, heaven hears certainty and responds immediately. Beloved, do not underestimate the emotional tone you live in. Your vibration is your prayer, your mood is your message, and your peace is your prosperity. Say this now: peace is my new prosperity. Again, peace is my new prosperity. One more time: peace is my new prosperity. You see, wealthy souls are not just rich in money. They are rich in calm. They carry stillness even in motion, trust even in challenge, joy even in uncertainty. That stillness is their magnet. They are not vibrating at fear of loss. They are vibrating at trust in divine order. And divine order never fails. The universe loves consistency. So the more consistently you hold peace, the faster it rearranges your world to match it. You do not need to be perfect, just persistent. Every time you catch a fearful thought and replace it with truth, you shift the field around you. You turn static into signal. You turn resistance into rhythm, and money feels that rhythm and begins to dance its way toward you. Imagine this: your emotions are the climate of your inner world. If you live in storms of worry, nothing grows. But when you live in the sunlight of gratitude, everything flourishes. Money is like a flower. It opens in warmth and closes in cold. It blossoms where it feels nurtured by joy. So start nurturing joy. Be thankful even for small blessings, because gratitude multiplies what it touches. Feel calm when paying bills, because faith pays them twice, once in trust, once in love. Smile when you think of your future, because your joy is already calling it into being. Say this now: my joy attracts abundance. My peace creates wealth. Again, my joy attracts abundance. My peace creates wealth. The energy of emotion is sacred. It is your direct line to the divine. Every calm thought, every grateful sigh, every whispered prayer of trust sends a wave through the invisible, and that wave returns to you as tangible blessings. You are never ignored. You are always mirrored. Life simply reflects your emotional wealth back to you. So today, I invite you to begin a new practice. Before you think of money, think of peace. Before you count what you lack, count what you love. Before you spend, breathe and bless. And before you worry, remind yourself, all that belongs to me comes easily and safely. When you live this way, your emotional energy becomes your signature. Heaven recognizes it. The universe identifies it. Money remembers it. Because peace is the mark of divine ownership. And money obeys peace faster than pressure. Florence said, faith knows it has already received. When you feel that truth in your emotions, your manifestation is complete. You have already received in spirit, and spirit will translate it into form. Say this now: my emotions are at peace. My supply is secure. My wealth is certain. Again, my emotions are at peace. My supply is secure. My wealth is certain. And as you say it, let yourself feel it. Let the emotion of trust fill your body, your aura, your home. Because that feeling, that peace, is the signal money cannot resist. It will travel any distance, cross any barrier, and find its way to the one who radiates calm certainty. You are that one. You are the calm in the storm. You are the peace that prosperity recognizes. You are the emotional magnet for divine supply. From this moment on, let your emotions be rich. Let your energy be restful. Let your faith be felt. Because when peace becomes your emotional currency, money becomes your loyal companion, faithful, generous, and ever-flowing. The mind is the soil of your life. Whatever you plant there grows, and the subconscious mind, that quiet garden beneath your awareness, never questions the seed. It simply receives, believes, and multiplies it. If you plant fear, it grows weeds of worry. If you plant faith, it grows gardens of miracles. And for most people, the subconscious has been filled with one dominant seed since childhood. It is not safe to have money. They may not say it aloud, but deep within, it whispers. It came from parents who struggled, from teachings that said, money is the root of evil, from moments of loss, from guilt over wanting more. And that belief became a vibration of caution, a warning to the soul: do not get too rich, it might hurt you. But Florence Scovel Shinn said, nothing can hinder you but yourself. The enemy is within your own subconscious mind. That enemy is not evil. It is simply afraid. It learned fear before it learned faith. And your divine work now is to retrain it, to teach your subconscious that it is safe, holy, and right to receive abundance. Say this now: my mind is my friend, and it supports my wealth. Again, my mind is my friend, and it supports my wealth. Every word you speak enters the subconscious like a drop of water on fertile ground. The more you repeat it, the deeper it sinks. The deeper it sinks, the stronger it grows. That is why repetition is not empty. It is sacred. It is how you rewrite old codes with new truth. So begin to speak to your mind as Florence taught, firmly, lovingly, daily. She said, man can only be changed by affirming that he is changed. You cannot beg your subconscious to feel safe. You must command it. You must speak safety until it feels like home. When fear rises, do not fight it. Retrain it. Say to yourself, I hear you, fear, but you are no longer in charge. I choose faith now. This is how healing begins, not through battle, but through teaching. Your subconscious believes whatever it hears the most. So feed it only words that affirm peace, wealth, and worthiness. Feed it words that tell a new story. Say this now: it is safe for me to be wealthy. It is natural for me to prosper. Again, it is safe for me to be wealthy. It is natural for me to prosper. Over time, these words sink so deeply that fear has no room to stay. It melts away, replaced by calm certainty. Imagine your subconscious as a child that has been frightened for too long. It does not need punishment. It needs assurance. Speak softly but with authority. You are safe now. You are loved. You are allowed to have more. When you do this daily, your mind begins to relax. And when your mind relaxes, your energy opens. When your energy opens, your reality shifts. Florence said, "You must train the imagination to see only good." Visualization is the bridge between belief and experience. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself already abundant, already supported, already free, you are not pretending, you are rehearsing truth. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. So whatever image you repeat, it records as fact. That is why visualization is holy. It is prayer in pictures. It is speaking to the invisible with faith that it will listen. Each morning, before you touch your phone, close your eyes and see yourself as wealthy, not chasing money, but calm, generous, radiant. Feel how safe it feels to have more than enough. See yourself paying bills with gratitude, giving freely, saving joyfully. Do this not for control but for comfort. You are teaching your energy that wealth is normal, safe, and sacred. Say this now: I am safe in abundance. My mind rests in wealth. Again, I am safe in abundance. My mind rests in wealth. This is how the subconscious learns, not through pressure, but through repetition, emotion, and imagery. Each affirmation is a new command. Each peaceful thought is a new instruction. And the universe always mirrors the instruction you give to yourself. When you say, "I can't afford this," the subconscious records lack. When you say, "It's coming easily to me," it records flow. When you say, "It's too hard," it records resistance. But when you say, "I am guided and supported in all financial matters," it records divine partnership. And that partnership changes everything. The mind does not respond to panic, it responds to peace. You cannot reprogram with fear, you reprogram with faith. Because faith is not effort, it is expectation. Say this now: I expect good things to happen with money. Again, I expect good things to happen with money. One more time: I expect good things to happen with money. This simple statement rewrites centuries of fear. It tells your subconscious that money is not danger. It is divine supply. It tells your body to relax, your energy to open, your vibration to rise. And when you rise, everything rises with you. Florence said, "You must speak the word before you see the result." That is how faith works. The subconscious needs instruction, not proof. It does not wait to see the miracle. It believes because you said it is done. So speak what you want before it happens, and your mind will follow your words into truth. Speak this daily: I am a clear channel for divine supply. Money comes to me in perfect, peaceful ways. I am safe to receive, safe to keep, and safe to grow my wealth. Every time you say these words, you open another door in your subconscious. Doors that were once locked by fear now unlock with ease. And through those doors, your supply walks in. Reprogramming is not a task, it is a devotion. It is how you prove to yourself that peace is stronger than panic. It is how you become master of your mind instead of its prisoner. It is how you turn limitation into limitless flow. So each day speak safety. Each night visualize peace. Each moment choose faith. And your subconscious will learn, not through struggle, but through repetition of love, that money is safe, that wealth is good, and that receiving is holy. Florence once wrote, "Man must prepare for the thing he has asked for when there isn't the slightest sign of it." That preparation is emotional and mental. It is the inner rehearsal of having what you desire, the quiet confidence that it's already yours. Say this now: I am mentally and spiritually prepared for abundance. Again, I am mentally and spiritually prepared for abundance. who the moment your subconscious believes this, your outer world will begin to prove it. New ideas will come. New people will appear. New opportunities will unfold. Not through striving, but through safety. Because safety is the sound of faith. And faith is the frequency of creation. You are now reprogramming your mind to remember its truth. That it was never unsafe, never unworthy, never separate from supply. It was only waiting for you to speak the new word. I am safe to be blessed. Say it again, with peace, with power, with love. I am safe to be blessed. I am safe to be blessed. I am safe to be blessed. Oh, and as you speak, the old programming fades, the new begins, and the subconscious, once filled with fear, becomes the servant of your faith. It is done. There comes a point on every spiritual journey when you realize, the harder you try, the further it seems to go. You push, plan, and pressure yourself, and yet the doors stay closed. Then one day, in a moment of quiet surrender, you whisper, God, I trust you, and suddenly, everything begins to move. That is the divine flow of allowing, the sacred current that carries your blessings to you without effort, without struggle, without delay. Florence Scovel Shinn said, Infinite Spirit opens the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right reach me now in perfect ways. Notice her words, not, let me chase it, not, let me force it, but, let it reach me. Because money, opportunity, and miracles are not things you pursue. They are things you allow. They move through the channel of peace. They flow where resistance ends. Say this now, I am open and willing to receive. Again, I am open and willing to receive. One more time, I am open and willing to receive. The law of allowing is simple, but few understand it. Allowing is not laziness, it is alignment. It means your energy no longer argues with the divine. It means you no longer wrestle with timing, doubt, or fear. It means you trust that everything that belongs to you is already on its way. And your job is to prepare, not to panic. Florence said, faith never argues, it simply knows. To allow is to know. To know that what you have spoken is heard. To know that the universe is already arranging the pieces for your highest good. To know that your request has been answered, and all that's left is to rest in gratitude. When you allow, you stop fighting the flow. You stop checking your progress every hour, asking, where is it? Why isn't it here? You realize that impatience is the language of fear, but peace is the sound of faith. Say this now, I trust divine timing. I rest in divine order. Again, I trust divine timing. I rest in divine order. Beloved, there is a river within you, the river of divine supply. When you stop trying to control it, it begins to carry you. You do not need to swim against it. You do not need to direct it. You only need to float in faith, knowing it knows exactly where to take you. This is the flow of allowing. It is the art of resting while receiving. It is the knowing that every delay is protection, every redirection is guidance, and every waiting period is preparation. You see, the universe cannot pour into a closed vessel. When you are tense, fearful, or doubtful, your energy is clenched. But when you are calm, grateful, and trusting, your energy opens, and the flow begins again. Florence said, before you call, I will answer, and while you are yet speaking, I have heard. That means the supply is already moving toward you. Your only task is to be ready to receive it. Say this now, I no longer chase. I attract through peace. Again, I no longer chase. I attract through peace. The divine flow does not respond to force. It responds to faith. It listens to the one who says, I know it is done. And it passes by the one who says, I hope it happens someday. Because hope waits, but faith receives. Allowing is not waiting, it is welcoming. It is opening your hands and saying, everything I desire is already here in spirit, and I now allow it to appear in perfect form. When you practice allowing, miracles multiply. You begin to see divine fingerprints everywhere, small coincidences, perfect timings, gentle reminders that the universe has never forgotten you. You stop wondering how it will come, and instead start saying, thank you. It's already here. Florence said, gratitude is the law of increase. And that is the secret within the flow. Gratitude opens the current wider. When you thank God for what you have, you signal that you are ready for more. When you thank life for its lessons, you invite blessings that feel lighter, easier, freer. So today, say thank you for every dollar, every opportunity, every lesson that taught you trust. Say thank you even for the seasons of waiting, because waiting built your faith. Say thank you for the unseen hands arranging your supply. Say thank you that your wealth is already complete in the spiritual realm, and now it is only crossing into time. Say this now: thank you, Divine Spirit. I receive with peace and gratitude. Again, thank you, Divine Spirit. I receive with peace and gratitude. When you live in this flow, everything begins to respond differently. Bills that once frightened you will now bless you, because you know you are equipped to handle them. Work that once drained you will now inspire you, because it feels guided, not forced. People that once resisted you will now help you, because they feel your peace. The energy of allowing transforms your outer world, because it transforms your inner world first. You are no longer striving to make things happen. You are letting things happen, and in that letting, you become magnetic. Florence said, "The secret of success is to be in harmony with the law of abundance." Harmony is peace in action. It is when your words, thoughts, and emotions all sing the same note of faith. When there is no contradiction within you, the universe rushes to cooperate with your song. Say this now: I live in harmony with abundance. Again, I live in harmony with abundance. One more time, I live in harmony with abundance. And as you do, breathe. Feel your body relax. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your heart expand. This is what it feels like to allow. Allowing is not weakness, it is mastery. It is saying, I trust the divine plan more than my own timeline. It is remembering that power does not mean pushing. It means presence. The power of allowing is the power of peace. When you stand in peace, everything you've asked for starts to find its way home. Not because you chased it, but because you matched it. Peace is the highest signal of readiness. It tells heaven, I'm done worrying. I'm ready to receive. So let today be your declaration of surrender, not giving up, but giving over. Give your plans to divine wisdom. Give your fear to faith. Give your control to flow, and watch how life begins to deliver exactly what you once thought you had to fight for. Say this now: I live in the flow of divine supply. All that is mine comes easily, safely, and perfectly. Again, I live in the flow of divine supply. All that is mine comes easily, safely, and perfectly. Let that truth settle into your spirit like a gentle river, carrying your wealth toward you now. You are no longer chasing. You are no longer doubting. You are no longer waiting. You are allowing. And in allowing, you are receiving. For the divine flow never fails the one who trusts it. It only waits for the moment you say, I am ready to receive in peace. And that moment, beloved, is now. Now, beloved, take a deep breath. You have heard the truth. You have felt it move through you like light through glass. And now it is time to seal it in your soul, through the spoken decree of faith. For words are not merely sounds, they are commands. They are divine codes sent into the invisible. When spoken with belief, they shape your world. When spoken with peace, they shift your vibration. When spoken with authority, they call heaven into action. Florence Scovel Shinn said, man's word is his wand filled with magic and power. And today, your word becomes the wand that directs the current of wealth. No longer will you plead for abundance. You will command it through love. No longer will you chase. You will attract through faith. No longer will you fear. You will rest in divine safety. Say this now with your whole being. I am safe to receive. I am ready to receive. I am worthy to receive. Again, I am safe to receive. I am ready to receive. I am worthy to receive. Let these words move through every cell, every thought, every memory, until your whole being vibrates in harmony with them. You are safe. You are ready. You are worthy. And because you are all three, money must come. Money has always been energy, responsive, intelligent, obedient to spiritual law. It travels not to the one who works the hardest, but to the one who believes the deepest. It is drawn to the one who has made peace their permanent home. So now decree peace, decree calm, decree harmony between you and all forms of wealth. Say this now. I am one with the divine source of all supply. Money is the servant of my purpose, not the master of my soul. Everything I touch prospers, because peace is upon my hands. Breathe those words in. Let them become your spiritual heartbeat. With each breath, the vibration of abundance grows stronger around you. Now affirms, my aura glows with safety and trust. Money recognizes my peace and flows to me easily. I attract only what blesses me and blesses others. Florence said, nothing stands between man and his highest good but fear. And you, beloved, have chosen to release fear. You have chosen to stand in the light of divine certainty. You have chosen to make peace your prosperity plan. You have learned that money is not earned first. It is allowed. That wealth is not chased. It is welcomed. That faith is not effort. It is ease. And that when you feel safe, supply arrives. So now we give thanks. Gratitude is the final key that turns the lock. Gratitude says, I already have it in spirit. And spirit says, then it shall be done in form. Say this now. Thank you, Divine Spirit, for my perfect supply. Thank you for the unseen abundance already on its way. Thank you that I am safe, supported, and sustained. Feel the power in those words. Gratitude changes your frequency faster than anything else. Because gratitude is faith celebrated. It is the vibration of already done. Now, place your hand over your heart and repeat softly. I am at peace with money. I am at peace with wealth. I am at peace with life. Your peace is your proof that the work is finished. The spiritual law says, what you feel is done is done. You do not need to ask again, you only need to stay aligned. Because when you rest, God works. When you trust, the universe moves. When you release, the flow begins. So now stand in the vibration of peace. Stand as one who already has. See yourself surrounded by light, golden, warm, radiant. That light is your aura of safety. That light is your divine shield of abundance. That light says to the universe, this soul is ready. This vessel is open. Let the blessings flow. And they will flow easily, perfectly, under grace. Money will come in unexpected ways. Doors will open without effort. Help will arrive before you call. Ideas will surface that lead to increase. Because you are now aligned with the divine flow. You have trained your emotions to trust. You have healed the fear of receiving. You have reprogrammed your mind for safety. And you have entered the river of allowing, where wealth moves naturally, without struggle, without strain. Say this now. I live in divine flow. I receive with ease. I am safe. I am blessed. I am abundant. Money loves me, and I love money in perfect balance. Feel the serenity in that statement. No greed, no guilt, no grasping. Only harmony. This is the energy that creates miracles. This is the vibration that shifts lifetimes. Florence said, there is a supply for every demand. That means there is already a perfect amount of money prepared for you, waiting to reach you through perfect channels. You do not have to look for it, it is looking for you. You do not have to chase it, it is tracing your vibration. So your only work now is to stay in peace. Peace is the magnet. Peace is the proof. Peace is the prayer that never fails. Say this now 3 times, as your final decree. I am safe to be wealthy. I am safe to receive money now. I am safe to live in overflow. Again, I am safe to be wealthy. I am safe to receive money now. I am safe to live in overflow. One final time with complete conviction. I am safe to be wealthy. I am safe to receive money now. I am safe to live in overflow. Let those words echo through your being. They are not promises, they are activations. They are the new vibration of your life. They are the spiritual contract you just signed with abundance. And now, beloved, it is done. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now the energy is complete. The door is open. The law has been fulfilled. You have become the safe home money has been seeking. You have become the peace that attracts prosperity. You have become the faith that commands miracles. And from this moment forward, money will flow to you naturally. Because you no longer resist it, you radiate it. You no longer chase it, you embody it. You no longer fear it, you bless it. Say it one last time as your eternal seal. All that belongs to me by divine right flows to me now. Under grace, in perfect ways, it is done, it is finished, and it is yours. Beloved, Spirit never leaves you guessing, Before your blessing arrives, heaven always sends signs. They come like whispers in the wind, like patterns you cannot ignore, like divine reminders that what you have asked for is already on its way. Have you noticed numbers repeating before your eyes? Have you dreamed the same vision more than once? Have you overheard a phrase from a stranger's lips that spoke directly to your heart? These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. When manifestation is close, the universe begins to arrange signals around you. They are gentle nudges to lift your faith higher, to prepare your heart, to align your expectation. Spirit knows how easily doubt creeps in, how quickly fear tries to choke hope, so signs are sent as evidence. So you may walk by faith and not by sight. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that nothing ever happens without a sign. Every repetition, every symbol, every divine echo is heaven saying, do not quit now. The harvest is near. Beloved, if you keep seeing it, do not dismiss it. If the same number flashes before your eyes, if the same message returns again and again, if the same door keeps showing itself, know this. Your manifestation is not far. It is standing at the threshold, waiting for your faith to open the door. Beloved, Spirit is always speaking. The challenge is not whether God speaks, but whether we notice. Manifestation is not a mystery to heaven. It is only a mystery to the human mind that doubts, forgets, and overlooks the signals placed in its path. But when your desire is close, when your faith is rising, when your vibration is aligned with the law of supply, Spirit begins to send signs as clear as day. These are heaven's way of preparing you, whispering, stay ready, for your good is near. A Florence Scovel Shinn declared, nothing happens without a sign. Before the harvest comes the bud, before the dawn comes the glow, before the blessing comes the signal. Spirit speaks in repetition, because repetition captures attention. That is why you notice numbers repeating. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 7, 7, 7. Each pattern carries a vibration, a reminder that the universe is not random but rhythmic. 1, 1, 1 whispers alignment. 2, 2, 2 announces balance. 7, 7, 7 signals completion. These numbers are not there to entertain you. They are signposts declaring that manifestation is already unfolding. But Spirit does not speak only through numbers. Spirit speaks through patterns, through echoes, through the alignment of events too precise to dismiss. You may hear a word in your spirit during prayer, and later a friend repeats it without knowing why. You may dream a symbol in the night, and later see it appear in the world before you. You may wrestle with a question in your heart, and then overhear the exact answer spoken by a stranger on the street. Beloved, these are not accidents. These are confirmations, heaven's language clothed in circumstance. Have you ever noticed how the same thought will not leave you, returning again and again, until you cannot ignore it? That persistence is not coincidence. It is Spirit insisting that you pay attention. The universe is aligning your awareness so that when the door opens, you will recognize it. Spirit prepares your inner sight before your outer eyes behold the manifestation. Beloved, I tell you this, the closer your blessing comes, the louder the signs will grow. At first, it may be a whisper, a gentle nudge, a fleeting repetition. But as your manifestation draws near, the signals multiply, becoming undeniable. Spirit wants you to be certain. Spirit wants you to be anchored. Spirit wants you to be able to say, I saw it coming, for heaven announced it beforehand. But why does Spirit send signs? Because doubt is quick to rise when the waiting grows long. The enemy of manifestation is discouragement. Signs are heaven's way of keeping you steady in faith. They are breadcrumbs along the path, guiding you toward the feast already prepared. When you see them, you are to rejoice, not question. You are to say, this is evidence. My manifestation is already in motion. Beloved, Spirit is not silent. Spirit is speaking through numbers, through people, through patterns, through whispers of intuition that cannot be explained by reason. When you are spiritually alert, you will see them. And once you do, you will never again call them coincidence. You will say, this is my sign. My manifestation is near. So the next time the number flashes before your eyes, the dream repeats, the phrase echoes back into your life, pause and declare aloud, I recognize the sign. Spirit is speaking. My good is on its way. For the universe always delivers, but it delights to give you a preview before the arrival. Beloved, signs do more than comfort you. They awaken the law of expectancy. Expectancy is the bridge between your desire and its manifestation. It is not idle wishing. It is not anxious waiting. It is the steady assurance that what you have asked for is already on its way. When signs begin to appear, they are not random sparks. They are Spirit's way of fueling your expectancy, reminding you to hold your faith high, to prepare your heart, and to get ready to receive. Florence Scovel Shinn often declared, "Faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly." This is the law of expectancy. To expect is to live as though the blessing is certain, as though the prayer is already answered, as though the supply is already delivered. Signs confirm that your words have not fallen on deaf ears. They are heaven's receipts, proof that your request is being processed in the unseen. Think of it like a letter sent through the mail. When you post it, you may not see it traveling, but you trust it is moving toward its destination. Then one day, a tracking notice appears. It is in transit. It is near. It is almost at your door. Beloved, signs are heaven's tracking notices. They tell you your manifestation has been released, and now you must remain in expectancy until it arrives in full. But here is the key: expectancy is not passive. It does not sit with folded arms and complain about the wait. Expectancy is active faith. It prepares the table before the guest arrives. It clears the space before the gift is delivered. It acts as if the promise is already here. When you expect, you do not ask, "Will it come?" You declare, "It is coming. It is close. It is mine." Beloved, this is why signs are so powerful. They stir expectancy. They remind you that the unseen world is already working. They shift your vibration from fear to faith, from doubt to confidence, from despair to joy, and your vibration is the magnet of manifestation. If you expect disappointment, you draw delay. If you expect failure, you invite frustration. But if you expect blessing, you call blessing forth. If you expect supply, you summon supply. The law is unbreakable. You attract what you expect. Have you noticed how expectancy changes your posture? A child waiting for a gift does not sulk. They look out the window. They run to the door. They listen for footsteps. Every sound excites them. Every signal lifts their hope, because they are certain the gift is on its way. That is how Spirit asks you to live when signs begin to appear. Not heavy with doubt, but light with expectancy. Not questioning, "Will it ever happen?" but declaring, "It is happening now." Beloved, the law of expectancy is faith clothed in anticipation. It is heaven's rhythm aligning with your readiness. When signs show up, Spirit is saying, "Rise higher. Stay steady. Do not give up before the breakthrough." The waiting season is not punishment. It is preparation. Expectancy keeps your spirit awake so that when the door opens, you are ready to walk through. So the next time you see the repetition, the symbol, the pattern, do not brush it aside. Smile, rejoice, and declare, "This is my sign. I expect my manifestation. I live as though it is already done." For the law is simple: what you expect, you attract. And when signs fill your path, heaven is saying, "The time is close." Expectancy will open the way. Beloved, when signs begin to appear, they are not vague hints or empty illusions. Each one carries meaning. Each one is Spirit's language, coded with truth for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. If you keep seeing them, it is not to confuse you, but to confirm that your manifestation is near. One of the clearest signs is repeating numbers. Perhaps you see 111 flashing on a clock, on a receipt, on a license plate. This is not mere chance. 111 declares alignment. It is heaven saying, your thoughts, your words, your desires, and Spirit's plan are in perfect agreement. Or maybe you see 222 again and again. That is the number of balance and partnership. It is the signal that what you seek is being joined to you, that cooperation and union are near. And when 777 appears, it speaks of completion. It is the whisper of Spirit saying, the work is done. The manifestation is finished. Prepare to receive. Numbers are not random. They are vibrations. They are heaven's mathematics, announcing spiritual truths in earthly form. Another sign is the echo of words. Perhaps you are praying for clarity, and suddenly the same phrase appears in multiple places. You hear it in a song, read it in a book, and overhear it in a stranger's conversation. This is no accident. Spirit repeats until you recognize. These echoes are not to entertain you. They are instructions, confirmations, and reminders that your path is unfolding in divine order. Dreams are another language of spirit. When manifestation is close, the soul rehearses it in vision before it arrives in the natural. You may dream of doors opening, of walking into new places, of receiving gifts. These are not random pictures. They are previews. Spirit allows you to see ahead of time so your faith may be strengthened. Sometimes the sign is a sudden shift. A door closes unexpectedly. A delay interrupts your plan. A redirection moves you into a new path. At first it feels like setback, but beloved, it is alignment. Spirit removes what is not meant so you can stand exactly where blessing will meet you. That delay is not denial. It is preparation. That closed door is protection. That detour is placement. Each disruption is evidence that heaven is arranging the pieces for your manifestation to arrive perfectly. Pay attention also to the quickening of your spirit. You may feel sudden bursts of excitement without knowing why, moments of peace that arrive out of nowhere, a sense of readiness that floods your heart. This is Spirit's way of preparing your inner self to match the outer blessing. Your soul knows what your eyes cannot yet see, that the blessing is near. Beloved, these signs are never meant to cause fear. They are meant to stir expectancy. Numbers, dreams, echoes, delays, inner nudges. Each one is a love letter from Spirit, assuring you that the unseen is already working in your favor. They are proof that heaven's hand is upon you, arranging, guiding, confirming. So when you see them, rejoice. Do not brush them aside as coincidence. Declare aloud, I recognize this sign. I know my manifestation is close. I give thanks now before it arrives, for the evidence Spirit has already shown me. Gratitude is the response that seals the sign into manifestation. To ignore the sign is to dismiss the confirmation. To honor it is to accelerate the blessing. Beloved, Spirit is always communicating, but when your manifestation is near, the signs multiply. They grow clearer, louder, more undeniable. Because heaven does not want you to miss what is coming. So watch with spiritual eyes, listen with a discerning heart, and every time you see the sign, let your faith rise higher, for it means only one thing: your manifestation is close. Beloved, a sign is not the blessing itself. It is the announcement of the blessing, and how you respond to it determines whether the manifestation flows easily or whether you allow doubt to block its arrival. Spirit sends signs not only to confirm, but to test your posture. Will you answer with faith, or will you let fear and overthinking steal your peace? Many see a sign and immediately slip into anxiety. They ask, but what does it mean? Am I missing something? What if it's not for me? Beloved, Spirit does not send signs to torment you. Spirit sends them to strengthen you. The moment you see a sign, your first response must be faith. Say aloud, this is my confirmation. My blessing is close. My manifestation is already on the way. These words anchor the sign into your spirit and align your vibration with heaven's decree. Florence Scovel Shinn often taught that every word is a decree. To respond to a sign with worry is to decree delay. To respond with doubt is to decree confusion. But to respond with gratitude and faith is to decree swift arrival. This is why your words matter most in the moment of confirmation. The sign is heaven's part, the response is yours. Beloved, when you see repeating numbers, do not brush them aside. Pause and give thanks. Whisper, thank you, Spirit, for the reminder that I am aligned. When you hear the echo of a phrase that speaks directly to your need, do not dismiss it. Declare, this word is mine. It confirms my manifestation. When a door closes or a delay shifts your path, do not curse it. Say, this is protection. This is alignment. This too is a sign that my blessing is near. The correct response to a sign is gratitude. Gratitude is the magnet that pulls unseen blessings into form. When you give thanks before the blessing arrives, you prove your faith. You show heaven that you already believe, and belief is the bridge that delivers. Signs are not to make you beg harder. They are to remind you to praise sooner. Another way to respond is through expectancy. Live as though the sign is proof of what is already yours. If you see the number 111, walk through your day declaring, I am aligned. I expect my blessing. If you dream of open doors, rise in the morning and say, today opportunities open before me. If you overhear a phrase of confirmation, take it as your daily decree and repeat it until it fills your atmosphere. Expectancy is active agreement with spirit. And above all, beloved, rest. A sign is not an instruction to strive harder. It is not a demand to force the outcome. It is a reminder to trust. The blessing is already moving toward you. The sign is the evidence. So instead of grasping, you rest. Instead of fretting, you trust. Instead of doubting, you affirm. Under grace and in perfect ways, my good arrives. Beloved, let this be your rhythm when the sign appears. Pause, give thanks, affirm, expect, and rest. This is how you honor the language of spirit. This is how you keep the channel clear. This is how you ensure that when manifestation knocks, you are ready to open the door. So the next time you see what cannot be ignored, the numbers, the echoes, the dreams, the shifts, do not hesitate. Say aloud, this is my sign. My manifestation is near. I give thanks now, for what I asked for is already mine. And in that moment, heaven smiles, for you have responded with faith, and faith always brings the unseen into the seen. Beloved, signs are powerful, but it is your daily decree that seals them into manifestation. Spirit may send confirmations, but your words and your faith invite the blessing into form. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, your word is your wand. A wand left unused cannot create. It must be lifted daily, spoken daily, wielded daily to shape the unseen into the seen. This is why you must establish a practice. Each morning, before the noise of the world enters, begin your day with decree. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and speak aloud with authority. I am aligned with spirit. I recognize the signs. My manifestation is close, and I receive it now under grace and in perfect ways. Do not whisper as though unsure. Declare it as law, for heaven responds to conviction, not hesitation. As you move through your day, signs will appear. Numbers repeating, echoes returning, opportunities shifting. Each time you see them, respond with a mini decree. Whisper, this is my sign. I expect my blessing. My manifestation is already unfolding. These short affirmations are like sparks that keep the fire alive. They stop fear from creeping in and remind your subconscious that the law is already working on your behalf. At night, before sleep, seal your spirit again with decree. Place your hand upon your heart and affirm, I rest in expectancy. Spirit is moving. While I sleep, my manifestation is arranging itself. I awaken to answered prayer, to divine supply, to abundance flowing. Beloved, do you see the rhythm? Morning, day, and night. Your words keep your channel open, your faith steady, your vibration high, and let gratitude flow with every decree. Gratitude is the proof of faith. To thank Spirit before the blessing appears is to declare, I already know it is mine. Gratitude turns decrees from empty words into living power. So after each declaration, pause and say, thank you. Thank you that it is done. Thank you that it is near. Thank you that it belongs to me by divine right. Beloved, here is a daily decree you may use, word for word, until it flows from your spirit without effort. I am aligned with divine law. I see the signs, and I know they are for me. My manifestation is close. Every day I grow nearer to my answered prayer. I walk in faith, I live in expectancy, I rest in gratitude. What I have spoken is already mine. It arrives in perfect timing, under grace, in perfect ways. And so it is. Repeat this decree 3 times in the morning, once whenever a sign appears during the day, and 3 times at night before sleep. Let it become the song of your soul, the rhythm of your breath, the anchor of your faith. Soon, beloved, you will not only see signs, you will see the manifestation itself standing before you. For Spirit is faithful. The signs are the preview, the decree is the invitation, and expectancy is the open door. Walk in this rhythm daily, and nothing can stop what heaven has already prepared for you. Beloved, we have walked together through the language of Spirit. We have seen how signs appear, how expectancy opens the way, how numbers, dreams, and divine echoes whisper that your manifestation is near. Now it is time to seal this truth with the final decree. Place your hand upon your heart, breathe deeply, and speak with authority. I recognize the signs Spirit has placed in my path. They are not coincidence, they are confirmation. Every repetition, every number, every whisper is evidence that my manifestation is close. I align with divine law. I walk in faith. I live in gratitude. What I have spoken is already mine. I say it again, stronger. My manifestation is close. I receive it now under grace and in perfect ways. No fear can delay it. No doubt can block it. No stress can steal it. I am aligned. I am expectant. I am grateful. Spirit has already prepared my blessing, and I welcome it with joy. Beloved, let these words sink into your spirit. The sign is proof, but the decree is the seal. Each time you see the number, hear the phrase, feel the tug of intuition, repeat these words and stand firm. You are not waiting in uncertainty. You are walking in certainty. You are not hoping in desperation. You are rejoicing in expectation. And so, beloved, walk forward from this moment with eyes open to the signs, lips ready with decree, and a heart anchored in gratitude. For the truth cannot be denied. If you keep seeing it, your manifestation is close, and so it is.
You think it's what you say in front of others that shapes your life. You think it's the declarations you post online, the affirmations spoken aloud in morning light, the vision boards and bold goals taped to your mirror that create the life you see. But I tell you the truth, the most dangerous words you speak are the ones no one hears, the ones muttered under your breath when you're alone, the ones that escape your lips in the dark, in defeat, in secrecy, the words you whisper when you think God isn't listening. But God is always listening, not to your mask, not to your performance, but to your pattern. And your pattern is written in the sentences you speak when your back is to the wall and the curtain is drawn. I speak now to the soul who is tired of cycles, tired of doing everything right and seeing everything go wrong, tired of affirmations in the morning and anxiety at midnight, tired of visualizing one thing and watching the opposite appear. You think you're blocked. You think something is resisting your good. But what if the saboteur is your own silent speech? What if the life you're living is not the result of your conscious faith, but the fruit of your whispered fear? Let me be clear, the subconscious hears everything. It does not differentiate between light and dark, between good and bad, between truth and lie. It simply receives what is spoken and makes it real. It obeys without judgment. It responds without delay. And while you're praying for miracles at sunrise, it's still replaying the curses you uttered under your breath at midnight. It doesn't care what you meant. It registers what you said. And so, if you speak despair in secret and faith in public, do not be surprised when your world reflects the former. The soil doesn't care if the seed was planted with intention or accident. It grows what you drop into it. But here is the glory. The same law that produced the harvest you did not want can produce the harvest you now choose. And it begins in the dark. The turning point is not when everything looks better. It is when you speak differently while nothing has changed. It is when the room is still empty and you say, I am full. It is when your body still hurts and you say, I am healed. It is when your bank account says 0 and you say, God is my unfailing supply. That's when the shift begins, not in the circumstance, but in the root. So I make this holy declaration now, and I ask you to speak it aloud with me, not as a habit, but as a verdict. I now speak light into every shadow of my being, again slowly, with the full authority of one who knows their word is law. I now speak light into every shadow of my being. No matter how long I've whispered fear, light now enters that corner. No matter how long I've rehearsed lack, light now dissolves it. No matter how hidden the patterns, I bring them to the altar of speech and I rewrite them. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be aware. You only need to remember that the power is not in your perfection, but in your patterned word. And that word begins to change when you change what you say in the dark. The private word becomes the public harvest. The hidden declaration becomes the visible breakthrough. And so we begin. And so it is. There is a law more active than gravity, more precise than arithmetic, more consistent than the sunrise. It is the law of subconscious imprinting. And whether you believe in it or not, it is working. Whether you fear it, fight it, or forget it, it is writing the future of your experience with quiet, unsentimental precision. This law governs the unseen realm, where your spoken word becomes seed and your inner world becomes soil. And every syllable you speak, especially when you are alone, especially when you are hurting, especially when you are no longer pretending, is a seed dropped into the most obedient ground in all of creation, your subconscious mind. The subconscious is not poetic. It does not care about the context. It does not weigh your intentions. It does not say, "She was just venting," or "He didn't mean it." It simply receives, it absorbs, it accepts whatever is said in repetition, with emotional charge or in solitude. It listens not just when you're seated in meditation or chanting your morning affirmations. It listens most when you're driving in silence, when you're laying in bed alone with your thoughts, when you're washing dishes and muttering about how tired you are, how broke you feel, how nothing ever works. That's when the seeds get planted. Not the words you say when you're inspired, but the ones you say by habit. And Jesus spoke it clearly. He left no room for confusion. For there is nothing hidden that will not be made manifest. Luke 8:17. What does that mean? It means every private declaration becomes a public result. Every whispered complaint becomes a circumstance. Every late-night confession, even said in exhaustion or jest, becomes matter. The subconscious is not sentimental, it is structural. It takes the blueprint of your inner speech and builds a world to match it. You think you're just surviving the day, but if you are not conscious, you are scripting the next one. So ask yourself, what have you spoken in the dark? What did you say to yourself after the breakup, after the failure, after the job rejection? What did you declare when the bill came, when the scale rose, when the door shut? Did you say, "Nothing ever works for me"? Did you whisper, "I knew this would happen again"? Did you mutter, "I can't afford that"? Because those words didn't vanish into thin air. They were planted. And unless they are uprooted by truth, they will grow. But here is the miracle. Just as easily as the subconscious accepts fear, it accepts faith. Just as it absorbed doubt, it will absorb declaration. It does not resist correction. It does not hold grudges. It simply obeys. So you do not need to be perfect. You only need to be present. Present enough to hear yourself in the dark. Present enough to catch the pattern. Present enough to say, "That was a seed I do not consent to grow." And so now we speak what will be made manifest. Say this with me, not to hope, but to plant. My subconscious is holy ground. I only plant what I want to see. Again, with certainty, my subconscious is holy ground. I only plant what I want to see. This is how your unseen becomes seen. This is how the invisible turns to form. The law does not delay. It does not sleep. It simply fulfills what has been whispered. So let us whisper no more. Let us declare. And so it is. It is easy to speak faith when the sun is shining. It is easy to speak prosperity when the bank is full. It is easy to declare wholeness when the body feels strong and the room echoes with applause. But those words, though good, are not the ones that shape your destiny. The most powerful words are not spoken in the light. They are spoken in the dark, when you don't feel like saying them, when the tears blur the page, when the air is thick with fear and nothing looks like what you prayed for. That is the hour of creation. That is the moment where divine power is forged. That is when your voice matters most. So I ask you now, not what do you say when it's working, but what do you say when it's not? What comes out of your mouth in the hallway between the prayer and the promise? Do you say, "Why does this always happen to me?" Do you mutter, "It's always something"? Do you repeat, "I can't handle this," even as you live through it? That's the pattern. That's the loop. That's the lie clothed in emotion, scripting your next delay. Because while feelings are allowed to pass through, they are not allowed to speak for you. You are not a victim of your feelings. You are the authority over your words. And feelings may scream, but they do not create. Only the word does. So here is the holy shift. When grief tightens its grip, speak light. When anxiety rattles your chest, speak peace. When lack rises up and mocks you, speak divine supply. Not because you feel like it, but because you are rooted in law, not in mood. Say with me now, like you are carving it into your atmosphere. Though I walk in darkness, I speak only light. Again, slower, stronger. Though I walk in darkness, I speak only light. You are not denying the pain. You are refusing to give it the microphone. You are not ignoring the emotion. You are deciding who gets to write your next chapter. And it is not the fear. It is not the panic. It is not the inherited voice of your mother's struggle or your father's silence. It is the truth that you now claim as your compass. There is a moment in every trial, in every valley, where the enemy of your soul waits in the shadows, not to strike, but to agree. To get you to agree with lack, to agree with loss, to agree with limitation. It whispers, say it. Say you're tired. Say you're done. Say it's not working, just once. Because if you say it, you plant it. And if you plant it, it must grow. But you don't have to. You don't have to come into agreement with hell. You don't have to come into agreement with feeling. You don't have to lend your mouth to the old cycle. You can stop it cold with truth. Say this now, not with emotion but with authority. Feelings pass, word creates. One more time as instruction to your inner world. Feelings pass, word creates. Let your body tremble. Let your knees shake. Let your tears fall. But do not change your confession. Because when all of this passes, and it will, what remains will be what you spoke in the middle. And if you spoke light, light will be your reward. You are not weak for crying, but you are not called to curse yourself in your cry. You are not broken for feeling pain, but you are not commanded to narrate the pain as your identity. You are not forbidden from grief, but you are never to give grief your microphone. Only truth deserves that place. So the next time it hurts, when the bill comes, when the friend leaves, when the report returns, pause, breathe, and say, though I walk in darkness, I speak only light. Because the dark has no power where the word walks, and so it is. You've been speaking things you didn't mean, and your life has been agreeing with them. You've been calling yourself broke, tired, unlucky, and cursed, and the world, with all its silent agreement, has nodded and said, yes, as you wish. Not because you're being punished, not because spirit delights in your struggle, but because the subconscious is law-bound and neutral. It does not filter for compassion. It does not check for spiritual alignment. It simply records and repeats. And every phrase you have ever spoken in fear is still there, looping quietly in the background of your being, setting expectations, filtering opportunities, scripting delay like it's destiny. But I tell you now, destiny is not delay. It is spoken decree. And what you decreed in fear must be overwritten. You are not condemned by what you've said in panic. You are only required to take dominion over it. Your past words do not hold permanent power unless you let them. So now we begin the sacred work of reprogramming the subconscious loop, not with violence, not with shame, but with consecrated authority. And it begins with this phrase. Say it now, slowly, like a key turning in a lock. I cancel every word I spoke in fear. Again, louder. I cancel every word I spoke in fear. Not one whisper of worry will remain rooted. Not one muttered curse will continue bearing fruit. Not one apology you made to lack will be honored. Every word that was born in anxiety, born in despair, born in inherited patterns of fear, they are nullified now. And now I invite you into the vision. See it. Close your eyes and see your old words floating in front of you. Those shadowy sentences you whispered late at night, the ones that made you feel small, unworthy, incapable. See them written in dark ink on the walls of your subconscious. I can't afford it. No one ever stays. It's always hard for me. That's just my luck. Now watch as light begins to pour in, liquid gold, radiant, warm, alive. It floods the room of your inner being, and every word written in shadow melts, not erased by effort, but dissolved by truth. Let that golden light overwrite the lies. Let it replace every fearful imprint with divine coding. Now, in that same golden light, begin the new loop, begin the new law. Speak this aloud with reverence and rhythm. My inner language matches divine law. Again, my inner language matches divine law. No more contradiction, no more confession of fear while affirming faith, no more duality. You are now aligned, inner and outer, seen and unseen. You no longer leak lack in private while proclaiming prosperity in public. You no longer speak two languages. You are fluent in only one, the language of spiritual truth. This is the reprogramming, not once, not in bursts, but daily, rhythmically, relentlessly. You speak what you mean, and you mean what aligns with divine mind. You no longer casually curse yourself. You no longer joke in defeat. You no longer mutter lies in stress and wonder why the world echoes them back. You speak with full awareness that the loop is live. Every syllable you speak is setting the tone for what you will live. So once more, seal it in sound. I cancel every word I spoke in fear. My inner language matches divine law. Let that phrase become the guardian at the gate of your mind. Let it stand watch every time a fearful sentence tries to rise. And let it remind you, you are not just the speaker, you are the scribe of your soul. And the new story begins now, and so it is. You must stop speaking from your surroundings. You must stop narrating the dirt as if it's your destiny. The world you see is not your truth, it's your residue. It is the temporary echo of your old word. But if you keep reporting what surrounds you, if you keep speaking from the appearance of lack, from the dust of discouragement, from the fog of confusion, you will stay bound to the soil. And the soil was never meant to be your authority. It was meant to be your servant. The soil responds to the seed, not the other way around. But when you look at the soil and adjust your confession to match it, you abort the harvest before it ever grows. I say it now, as a command to your inner being. Stop speaking from the soil. Stop saying what is. Stop explaining what hurts. Stop defining yourself by the dust you're walking through. Speak from the seed. Speak from what you've planted, what you've prophesied, what you've dared to declare in the unseen. You do not speak the dirt, you speak the tree. And the tree may not be visible yet, but if the seed was true, then the outcome is guaranteed. The tree is inevitable. The harvest is already coded into the word. Your only job is to keep speaking what's been planted, not what surrounds the seed in the meantime. Imagine the seed in the ground, buried, covered in silence, surrounded by darkness, pressed by dirt, no sunlight, no applause, nothing visible. But within it, encoded in silence, is the full blueprint of the tree. The roots, the trunk, the branches, the fruit, all of it already in motion. The seed doesn't need to understand the dirt. It doesn't ask the soil for permission. It doesn't complain about the darkness. It simply begins to rise because the code inside it has already decided what it will become. So why, child of God, do you stare at the dirt and speak defeat when the blueprint of greatness is already within you? I challenge you now. No longer speak from your surroundings. Speak only from the seed. If you planted wealth, speak abundance, even if the numbers say otherwise. If you planted healing, speak wholeness, even if the pain is still present. If you planted favor, speak open doors, even if every phone call is a no. You are not here to describe the dirt. You are here to prophesy the tree. And when you speak from the seed, you agree with the law that governs inevitable increase. Say it now as a holy challenge to your own mouth. I no longer speak from what surrounds me. I speak from what I've planted. Again, I speak not the soil, I speak the tree. Let this be your shift point. Let this be the moment your word stops echoing fear and starts activating fruit. And so it is. Let us now speak, not from emotion, but from dominion. Let us declare, not from anxiety, but from alignment. These are not chants to soothe your nerves. These are not poetic phrases to sound spiritual. These are verbal instruments of spiritual agriculture. Each one a seed sown deep into the soil of your subconscious, each one backed by the full authority of divine law. Speak them now, not with hesitation, but as one who knows that what is planted in word will bear fruit in form. Your tongue is not idle. It is a spiritual tool, and this is how we build. Say this aloud with me, as if heaven and earth are pausing to hear it. My subconscious is fertile with light. Again, my subconscious is fertile with light. No more planting in fear. No more writing failure into your being with every emotional outburst. No more polluting the garden of your soul with careless murmurs. From this moment forward, you become intentional. You become rooted. You become responsible for the words you drop into yourself, and light is the only thing permitted to grow. My subconscious is fertile with light. Now speak the seed. Call it by name. Let the soil know what to multiply. Say, I plant wealth, health, and wholeness with my word. Again, deeper. I plant wealth, health, and wholeness with my word. You are not wishing. You are not begging. You are installing. You are writing a new code. You are telling the invisible realm what to build next. No more vague desires. No more fear-covered prayers. You name it. You speak it. And you plant it in the sacred field of your own inner being. I plant wealth, health, and wholeness with my word. Now cleanse the ground, guard it, protect it. Speak this like a sword held against every old pattern. No fear phrase shall take root in me. Say it again. No fear phrase shall take root in me. Fear may knock, worry may whisper, but you no longer give those voices authority. They are not allowed to live in you. They are not allowed to build in you. You hear them and you replace them. You notice them and you denounce them. And the moment you do, their seed loses power. You are the gatekeeper now. No fear phrase shall take root in me. And now we close this sequence, not with a question mark, not with a pause, but with finality, with truth as the last sound. Only truth bears fruit. Again, slowly, like you're engraving it into your spiritual DNA, only truth bears fruit. Not fear, not complaint, not history, not logic, not feelings, only truth. And from now on, truth is all you speak. And so it is. Have you been planting weeds with your words? Have you, in the secret hours of exhaustion, dropped phrases into your subconscious that never should have been spoken? Be honest now, not to be ashamed, but to be free. Did you say, it's always hard? Did you whisper, I don't know how much more I can take? Did you mutter, nothing ever works for me? Those were not just expressions. Those were seeds. And the law did not judge you. It obeyed you. The soil did not resist you. It responded. But today, with one conscious breath, one sacred decision, one holy sentence, you can begin the reversal. You are not here to punish yourself for what you said. You are here to take back the microphone. You are here to stop letting fear write your future. You are here to speak the light that transforms your dark. And I ask you now, not for me, but for you, to mark this moment in sound and symbol. If your atmosphere has shifted, if your inner world has stirred, if you feel something new rising from the depths, then declare it where the law can witness it and your soul can confirm it. Comment now, I now speak light into my dark. Let it be your line in the sand. Let it be your reversal. Let it be your resurrection. Say it, type it, mean it. I now speak light into my dark, and return often, because the soil never sleeps, and the word still works. And so it is. There is a law that governs the unseen moment, the hour when no one is watching, when no one is affirming you, when the room is still and your fears get loud. It is not the law of hustle, not the law of performance. It is the law of silence paired with the spoken word. This law does not activate when you are celebrated. It activates when you are alone. When the sun has set, when the body is tired, when your soul drifts toward vulnerability, when the curtain of the day closes and you meet yourself, this is when the real decree begins. This is where creation starts, not with applause, but in the hush. The night symbolizes more than sleep. It symbolizes the subconscious phase of manifestation, when nothing looks alive, yet everything is forming, when the seed is buried and no evidence exists, when all activity seems to have stopped, but divine movement is most intense. And it is in this hour, the hour of mystery, the hour of darkness, that the law listens more closely than ever. Because in silence, your true belief rises. In stillness, your real decree speaks. And what you speak in this quiet, hidden hour becomes the architecture of your morning. It is no coincidence that Scripture says, "At midnight a cry was heard." Matthew 25:6. Midnight is not just a time, it is a metaphor. It is the point where delay turns to fulfillment. It is the spiritual pivot between hidden and seen. And at midnight, the cry that is heard is not noise, it is command. It is faith spoken without sight. It is truth declared in the face of nothing. It is the spiritual substance that pierces the invisible and brings forth the visible. That cry was not random, it was timed, it was lawful. Because midnight is when the unseen is stirred by the word. So I ask you, what do you say when you lie in bed and your mind spins? What do you say when the phone goes silent and the bank app shows red and no answers arrive? What do you say in the middle of the night, when no one will judge you, when no one will catch you, when you believe your speech is private and exempt from consequence? Because that is where the next version of your life is being built, not in your public affirmations, but in your private whispers. The law of the middle of the night says this: what you say in the dark decides what shows up in the light, not just because it's poetic, but because the subconscious is most open, most impressionable, most creative in stillness. This is why so many repeat their patterns even after making conscious declarations, because the subconscious still obeys the midnight monologue. Let that change now. Let this be the shift. From this night forward, your silence becomes sacred. Your whispers become aligned, and your word becomes the prophecy of your next sunrise. And so it is. There is a sound that rises in the soul when the lights go off and the world goes quiet. It is not always audible. It doesn't come from the mouth, but it floods the mind. It's the sound of panic rehearsing possibilities. It's the sound of fear replaying memories. It's the sound of dread forecasting what might go wrong. That is the night cry. And if you do not override it, it will write your next day before it ever begins. Because even in the hours when you appear to be resting, the subconscious remains alert. It listens. It absorbs. It takes those anxious mental loops as instruction. And it begins creating in silence what you never would have chosen in light. So what do you do when insomnia grips your chest? What do you say when panic rises like a flood in the middle of the night? What words are you to speak when you feel powerless, eyes wide open, mind racing, body tight with tension? You override. You do not echo the fear. You do not analyze the worry. You do not narrate your helplessness. You override the cry with command, and not the kind of command that shouts, but the kind that knows, the kind that speaks not from force, but from certainty. Say this now, with the tone of someone who will no longer surrender their subconscious to fear's programming. I rest under divine protection and perfect timing. Again, slowly, like a lullaby of power. I rest under divine protection and perfect timing. These are not just pretty words. These are alignment codes. These are spiritual instructions sent directly to the realm where your next form is being built. You are no longer letting fear write blueprints in your sleep. You are no longer letting shame narrate your tomorrows while your conscious mind is offline. You are replacing the loop. You are telling the night who is in charge, and the night must obey. Let this become your new sleep ritual, not scrolling, not worrying, not rehearsing arguments, but installing truth. Repeat the words that build. Speak declarations that soothe and command. Even if the mind says nothing is changing, the subconscious receives the repetition. It believes the voice it hears most, and in the dark, with no distraction, it becomes even more responsive to what you say. So do not waste the sacred hours of stillness on thoughts that don't serve you. Override them, interrupt them, replace them, not just once, but over and over again, until the night becomes your servant and not your enemy. Speak softly if you must, but speak. Declare peace, declare safety, declare divine order. If the thought says, "What if it all falls apart?" you answer with, "I am divinely held in every detail." If the thought says, "You can't afford this," you reply, "All my needs are met under grace and in perfect ways." If the thought says, "It's too late," you answer, "Time bows to divine law. I am always on time." You are not too tired to speak. You are too powerful to stay silent. Let the cry of the night be overridden now. Let the voice of spirit rise higher than the noise of fear. Say it once more as your final word before sleep, your banner over the dream realm. I rest under divine protection and perfect timing. And the law will receive that sentence, and your tomorrow will obey, and so it is. Some of the most dangerous forces shaping your life are not outer enemies. They are inner agreements, quiet ones, whispered ones, agreements you never consciously made, but silently adopted in the heat of fear, fatigue, or generational programming. These are not always loud beliefs. They are subtle. They hide in your tone, in your hesitation, in your self-talk, in the private sentences you never dared to say aloud. They shape how quickly you act, how boldly you ask, how much good you will actually allow. They are the invisible saboteurs that sit in the subconscious, undetected, scripting cycles. But I speak to that now, not with judgment, but with authority. You are not bound to what you once agreed with in fear. You are free to revoke it, and you must. You must identify the inner confessions that have been shaping your outer condition. The whispered sentences you said in a moment of disappointment. The things you repeated after a parent who didn't know better. The mantras you murmured in heartbreak. The labels you accepted from rejection. These things do not live in your conscious mind. They lurk below. They do not speak in paragraphs. They breathe in fragments. I'm not the type of person who... That's just not in the cards for me. People like me don't. It always ends like this. You never meant to build a home for those words, but you did. You repeated them long enough that the subconscious made space for them. But now you must cleanse the temple, not with shame, not with regret, but with divine fire. Say this now with the gravity of a soul reclaiming its structure. I renounce every whispered limitation. Again, like you're tearing up an old contract, I renounce every whispered limitation. These are not just words, they are evictions. You are no longer the host of hidden sabotage. You are no longer the quiet partner in a false belief. You are no longer living by internalized ceilings that spirit never gave you. I renounce every whispered limitation. That phrase becomes the broom, the sword, the wind that clears the dust of decades. You do not need to know exactly where the lie came from. You only need to know it no longer belongs. Now, close your eyes and see it. In your mind's eye, picture a table. Upon it are sheets of paper, each one holding a sentence you've spoken in fear. Inherited words, cultural curses, scarcity scripts, lines like, "I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me. I'll always struggle. I'm not worthy of wealth. Now watch as a flame appears, not harsh, not chaotic, but holy. Gold, violet, glowing from within. And with each breath, the fire consumes the page. The words shrivel, fade, disappear. You do not cling. You do not plead. You let them burn. They were never yours. You were never meant to carry them. This is the fire of spiritual reprogramming, and it leaves no ash behind. As the fire clears, see a new inscription appear, not written by trauma, not spoken by fear, but engraved by divine mind. I speak only what aligns with truth. I am the vessel of sacred instruction. My subconscious obeys only what serves. Let these words take root where the weeds once were. Let them resound louder than the lies. Let your silence now be filled with holiness. Let your inner monologue become a sanctuary. Because the saboteur has been evicted, and only truth lives here now. Say it once more. I renounce every whispered limitation. And so it is. There is a moment in every day, every season, every soul's unfolding, when all the noise fades and silence stretches before you like a mirror. And for most, that silence feels like discomfort. It feels like lack. It feels like something is missing. So we fill it with worry, with replayed conversations, with loops of doubt dressed as thinking. But I challenge you now, stop filling silence with fear. Stop pouring worry into the gaps where spirit was ready to speak. Stop narrating doom just because no one else is talking. Silence is not your enemy. Silence is not a void. Silence is the throne room of spiritual instruction. You must retrain yourself to see stillness not as emptiness, but as readiness. The silence is not absence. It is presence waiting to respond. And the only voice that should break that stillness is the one that knows who it is and what it commands. When all is still, you do not panic. You prophesy. You do not fill the space with guessing. You fill it with decree. Because the silence is not empty air, it is sacred canvas, and your word paints the future upon it. So when the moment comes, when the room goes quiet, when the phone doesn't ring, when no answer appears, don't fill it with noise. Don't reach for distraction. Don't go hunting for someone else's voice to break the stillness. Speak, not as a beggar, not as a victim, as a creator, as a vessel of divine authority. Stand in that silence like it's a courtroom and the verdict depends on your tongue. Stand in that stillness like it's holy ground. And say this with me now, not as poetry, but as law. Peace obeys my voice. Again, stronger. Peace obeys my voice. You are not the echo. You are the origin. You are not reacting to the quiet. You are shaping what comes next. Speak into the stillness as if the entire atmosphere is leaning in to obey. Because it is. Speak healing. Speak money. Speak direction. Speak love. Speak strength. Speak restoration. Not after the chaos ends, but right into the center of it. Your voice carries weight when no one else is speaking. Your decree becomes architecture when the ground is bare. So the next time it's quiet, when the world doesn't seem to answer you, when heaven seems silent, when you feel suspended in delay, don't narrate confusion. Don't speak doubt. Don't panic into old scripts. Step forward, open your mouth, and say, "Peace obeys my voice." Because you do not wait for evidence, you create it. And so it is. Now we speak again, not to repeat, but to reinforce, not to inspire emotion, but to imprint divine rhythm into the subconscious. These are not just affirmations, they are activations. They are sacred decrees that recalibrate your inner temple, reroute old programming, and replace subconscious sabotage with spiritual sovereignty. Every word you speak now becomes law in the realm of the unseen, forming the outcomes that will soon walk into view. So speak them not as a request, but as a ruler. Say this with me now, slow and steady, as one who no longer fears the silence. My quiet is filled with sacred decree. Again, as if the walls of your mind are listening, and they are. My quiet is filled with sacred decree. No more wasting stillness, no more using silence as a dumping ground for fear. From this moment forward, every pause becomes a platform. Every moment of stillness becomes a sanctuary where truth is spoken and form is built. My quiet is filled with sacred decree. Now speak your hierarchy. Place your soul back in command. Say this with full knowing: I am not ruled by feelings. I am ruled by truth. Once more, like you are shaking the foundation of old patterns, I am not ruled by feelings. I am ruled by truth. Your feelings are visitors. They do not sit on the throne. They do not draft your future. They do not write your story. They pass through, but they do not remain. And while they come and go, your word stands eternal. I am not ruled by feelings. I am ruled by truth. Now speak from the midnight hour, not as a victim of darkness, but as a voice of light. Say this: my midnight words create my daylight reward. Again, not softly, but as prophecy. My midnight words create my daylight reward. Because what you speak when the world is quiet becomes what the world must reflect. Your reward does not begin with your labor. It begins with your language. What you speak at night becomes what you wake up to next. You are no longer wandering in circles. You are speaking in straight lines toward divine result. My midnight words create my daylight reward. And now, close this round with the final seal, the vow that ends all wavering. Say it now with full alignment: I speak only from faith, never from fear. Again, like it is being etched into the gates of your mind, I speak only from faith, never from fear. No more double-mindedness, no more mixture, no more praying in faith and muttering in doubt. From this breath forward, your word belongs to the kingdom, not to chaos. Your speech is sanctuary. Your voice is vision. Your decree is clean. Let these affirmations anchor you. Let them echo through your day. Let them travel with you into night. Because you no longer speak to survive. You speak to create. And so it is. Will you speak light in your next dark hour? Will you remember that your voice is not a decoration, not a ritual, but a spiritual technology that governs form? Will you remember when the feeling returns, when the fear rises, when the room is silent and no one sees, that heaven still hears, that the subconscious still records, that the law still obeys? This is your invitation, not to inspiration, but to dominion, to become a keeper of your own atmosphere, to become a watchman over your own tongue, to turn midnight from a place of collapse into a place of command. Because now you know, now you're accountable. You cannot pretend you don't understand how the dark works. You cannot go back to muttering curses and wondering why nothing grows. From this moment forward, you speak as one who knows, one who understands that the words spoken in the quiet carry more power than the speeches shouted from stages. One who understands that midnight is a portal, and your decree is what determines what steps through it. So I ask you now, not gently, but with fire. Will you speak light in your next dark hour? Will you catch yourself before the old phrase repeats? Will you replace the sigh with a sentence of sovereignty? Will you say, not in theory, but in truth, midnight obeys my word? If you're ready to mark that shift in sound and in scroll, comment it now and say it out loud as you type it. Midnight obeys my word. Because it does. And now, so do you. And so it is. Everything in your life right now, every condition, every relationship, every dollar, every delay, every breakthrough, exists not because of random events, not because of luck, not because of circumstances beyond your control. It exists because of structure. And the structure beneath it all is built by one thing: your word. Words are not decorations. They are architectural instructions in the invisible. Every sentence you speak becomes scaffolding. Every repeated phrase becomes a beam, a wall, a door. And over time, the world you move through is not the world handed to you by fate. It is the house constructed by your vocabulary. This is not metaphor, it is law, divine law, and Scripture reveals it plainly, without need for interpretation or theological gymnastics. By faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the Word of God. Hebrews 11:3. Worlds, plural. Not just galaxies, not just cosmic spheres, but personal dimensions, life realms, outcomes, experiences. Framed, built, designed, shaped, supported by the Word. That same divine pattern is active in you. Your Word frames your world. It outlines what is allowed. It defines what enters. It determines what takes form. You are the builder, not of your emotions, but of your environment. And you build it not with money, not with effort, not with time, but with utterance. You say, I can't take any more, and the structure of collapse begins to rise. You say, it's always something, and the structure of chaos begins to shape itself around you. You say, I never catch a break, and the blueprints adjust to accommodate the next delay. You may not see it instantly, but law is never lazy. The foundation is being poured in the unseen. But here is the miracle. You can rebuild. You can halt the old construction with one conscious declaration. You can issue a new design, even if the old one has been under construction for years. The spiritual realm responds not to time, but to alignment. And the moment you change your speech, the architecture begins to shift. You don't have to fix the past. You just have to stop reinforcing it. Tear down the old walls with silence. Raise new ones with truth. Say this now, not as an idea, but as instruction to your atmosphere. My word frames my world. Again, stronger. My word frames my world. And then ask yourself, what have I been building? A sanctuary or a prison? A palace of overflow or a cage of limitation? Have my phrases created doors or walls? Let this be your blueprint shift, from careless speech to conscious structure, from emotional release to spiritual decree, because the next version of your life is waiting on your next sentence. Build wisely, speak lawfully, frame what you actually want to live in. And so it is. You are not just the actor in the movie of your life. You are the narrator. You are the one who overlays the scenes with meaning, with language, with prophecy. And I ask you now, what have you been narrating? What captions have you placed over your circumstances? What inner monologue have you let play on repeat while you walk through your days? Because many of you are not just going through difficulty, you are narrating yourself deeper into it. You are voicing defeat before it fully arrives. You are calling lack your identity. You are giving confusion